Hello, kids. Welcome in. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm so pleased you've chosen to join us today. There are many places on your radio dial you could be. There are many places on the intraweb you could be. I'm certain that you have tens, if not hundreds, of apps where you could be playing about on your phone or whatnot, and maybe, just maybe, you're over on the television side of things, and there are plenty of things to watch on the TV. Well, you chose us, and I appreciate you for doing that, and I will try to honor that choice by entertaining you over the course of the next 4 hours, maybe informing you, educating you on a few things, and I would love to do it between 3 and 7. I would love for you to be with us every day between 3 and 7 and tell a friend or a neighbor about the Matt Murphy Show. It's episode 869 of our gatherings together today. It is Thursday, August 21, and you can find us in a variety of places like Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn. Of course, we have our own app. Download that at Supertalk 99.7 WTN. You can find us via our website, 997WTN.com. Of course, on the radio dial, and then Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. If you want to watch an ugly guy do a radio show, I'm your man, and I appreciate you doing so. Hey, speaking of ugly guys, there's Jackson Williams back behind the glass. I could have gone Ken Weaver, but he's too cute.
So you missed something there. You should have said Wednesday's Ninkampoops in the News champion, Jackson Williams.
Oh, did you do the count? Did you do it?
Yeah,
did you do a new count?
You.
Did you now?
A lot of them were like, Joy Reid is a dumb something.
Right, so that's a vote for me.
Jackson wins.
What?
Yeah, there were a lot like that.
No. What, do they think I cheated? They probably think I cheated.
Yeah.
I understand. The spirit of the nincompoop is that,
you take the sling off, it goes away.
What's that?
The sympathy votes.
The sympathy votes? Oh,
yeah.
I can identify with that. Ken Weaver gets a lot of votes. You know why? Because people like Ken more than they like you or me. Hey, Weaver.
How about you boys?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just writing up news.
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, another day in paradise, writing up news. Had a lot of it today. I'm really looking forward to Trump patrolling the streets of D.C. tonight.
It's going to be great. I'm going to do a ride-along with him because my truck's still broke. So I'll be riding along with Trump later on tonight. I'll fly out. Get to D.C. about 9:15, 9:30, Middle Tennessee time.
Yeah.
Jump in an old SUV, get over with Trumpy Trump. I don't know what he'll be doing. He probably got a couple of perps down on the sidewalk by then,
Man, he is trolling the left so hard.
Absolutely love
They
it.
are going to lose their minds over this.
Love it. Love everything about it. Love everything about it. And I love everything about it because he has placed the political left in a position where he knew they were going to fight back against his effort to stop crime.
Yes.
Now, think about that for a minute. No one denies that Donald Trump has the legal authority to do what he's doing. No one. No one denies that under the Home Rule Act of 1973 that there was a provision by which the President of the United States could temporarily take over law enforcement in Washington, D.C. if he declares it an emergency. And it's his declaration to make, not anyone else's. Now, he gets to go to Congress and get authority to do this by extending it another 30 days or another however long if the 30 days runs out, and he feels like he can do that. Or he can pause and declare another emergency, a separate emergency. One way or the other, no one denies that Section 240 gives the President of the United States the authority to do this. So what is their big deal? What's the worst that could happen? That they stop crime? Did you see, Ken, the video of the National Guard soldier helping the elderly woman down the stairs from the subway, from the metro station in Washington, D.C.? Yeah, she's got a walker. She's got a little walker there, and one of the guys is carrying her walker for her. And the other National Guardsman, I think I put this up on my X Machine page, at Matt Murphy Show. And there's another guy. He's got her by the arm. She's wearing a nice little red suit, little pantsuit. And he's got her, and they slowly walk down the stairs together, and he's all dressed up in his uniform. And when he gets her down the stairs, he kind of pats her and tells her goodbye, and she goes off her merry way. Oh, the horror, the horror. That's what I put. The horror of Donald Trump's dictatorial authoritarianism. Say it's not so. I mean, it's just... And so now he goes, yeah, let's do a little ride-along. Let's go. Let's make it out. Where's Dan Abrams? Let's get some live PD. Get some perps on the ground.
Is this going to be televised?
Gosh, I hope so.
I do too, man.
I'd watch it.
I think the memes that come from this being televised would.
And I am so addicted to Live PD. Y'all watch Live PD? Anybody?
Okay, so me and my college roommates or friends, my freshman year of college, we used to sit around right before Bible study, watching Live PD. And,
Bible study? Is that what y'all call drinking?
yes.
Oh, you're taking a little swig now, are you?
That's water.
Oh, yeah, just right in the middle of your story. Just go ahead. We'll wait. We'll be right over here, Jax. Don't worry about it.
So,
It's a
yeah,
4-hour
we used to drink and watch Live PD every Friday. It was awesome.
Live PD, Ken, is like cops on steroids, man. It is.
So it's the real deal.
Yeah, so they contract with a variety of different police departments around the country. I think there's one in South Carolina. There's one in, there's one in California. And these police departments agree to allow these individuals to ride along with them and film. And I think there's a slight delay. So they don't have to get, if you're in public and you're being pulled over, they don't have to get permission from the perpetrators or the suspected individuals for camera use. They can't, I don't think they're allowed to go into anybody's house. But other than that, they're just riding along like cops
they
used to do.
used to be able to.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. Back in 2018, we were watching it. They used to be in people's homes. And I'm assuming they got sued.
If you watch, then you know because sometimes the people go, "What's that? What's going on?" And they go, "Oh, they're filming a documentary about us. Don't worry about them." But I'm guessing there's probably a 15-minute delay, if that.
Have you ever seen South Park?
I have seen South Park. Yes.
Have you ever seen the one where Kenny's dad gets arrested and he has to look at the camera? It's like a Live PD type show, and he's like, "I'm white trash and I'm in trouble."
I vaguely remember that.
It's one of my favorite lines in the whole show.
But it is. It's it'll make you feel so much better about yourself. I'm just telling the truth. Watch an hour of Live PD and you go, you know what? Whatever's going on in your life, whatever troubles you find yourself in, whatever issues that you've had to deal with in your life, you watch an hour of Live PD and you go, well, at least I'm not these sad SOBs. My goodness gracious. Whatever I got going on, it's not as bad as all of this. Because these folks, and sometimes you feel sad for them. It can get kind of sad because some people just can't get out of their own way. But, yeah, it's a good show. Love Live PD. Would love Live PD DC Trump edition.
I can't wait, man.
And everybody, man, everybody's drank 2 beers. Everybody in the world has had 2 beers.
Right.
They're drunk as Cooter Brown. They had 2 beers.
Just
Everybody's
a couple
had 2
of beers.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. If you've ever known anyone in law enforcement, the best way to get into the back of a patrol car is to look at a police officer and slur this line. I've just had 2 beers. Yeah, okay, you're going to jail now. Thank you very much.
That is a DUI.
I didn't realize, and I heard several. It might have been Chad, might have been Chris, might have been Dan. I can't remember who it was, but I know it was Dan. Was talking to someone the other day on Nashville's Morning News about the fact that in the state of Tennessee, we don't give breathalyzers on the side of the road anymore. And I'll have to look this up. Somebody help me out with this if you can on the super text line. But I am fascinated by this, that they take, like apparently there have been, I remember who it was. It was a reporter from Channel 4. Who's doing a thing on this, and they've had like 600 false DUI arrests in the last 12 or 15 years.
Yes.
And part of that is seemingly due to they don't do breathalyzers on the side of the road. If you are a police officer, I will protect your anonymity. Would you mind calling this radio station at 615-737-9986, talking to me and telling me why you don't do that anymore? So what they do, they want to get to a blood test. And I understand that there's a lot of drugs going on now that you can't catch on a breathalyzer.
Yeah.
But it would seem to me that you would want to get that one out of the way right there. And then if you need to move forward with the blood test, you can do that. And I don't know why they don't do it anymore. But apparently they don't do blood tests. Rather, they don't do breathalyzers anymore in a lot of
interesting
in a lot of municipal police departments.
You have to say the alphabet backwards?
I couldn't say the alphabet backwards right now.
I can't even count backwards. And I'm not drunk right now.
All right, Jackson.
Yes.
Count from 10 to 1 backwards.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Wrong. You're arrested. You want to do it one more time? Count from 10 to 1 backwards.
1, 2, 3, 4,
There you
5.
go. All right. Good for you. You're smart. You know, you got it first try.
See, that would have.
I would have been in jail.
I'm going to
That's
jail.
10 to 1 backwards. If you go 10 to 1, but you do it backwards. Y'all see what I did there?
Officer, I've only had 2 beers. Now, they were 24 ounces each,
right.
but
Have
they
you
were
ever-
just 2.
They were pony kegs, but there was only 2 of them.
So you watch Live PD, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever seen like the excuses people try to give for like the drug paraphernalia that
Yes.
they may have? That's for decoration.
That's my cousin Tommy's.
Always their cousins.
That's not mine.
That's not mine. That's my
I was
cousin.
holding it for a friend. It's great television.
That's my cousin Tommy's.
They also had the exclusive rights to that Murdaugh, that South Carolina family.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they had that trial exclusively. I watched it for days. It was like the only channel I watched.
Yeah, because that thing started with like the kid in the boat. There was
Yeah.
the kid in the boat, and then there was the other thing, and then it found out like dad killed the housekeeper or something. And
Yeah, that thing is crazy.
Crazy.
Man.
It is one of the best true crime documentaries you can watch. It's on Max or HBO Max, whatever they're calling it, but it's impeccable television.
how about Jackson? I just smoked tobacco in that.
Yeah, it's just for
That's just for tobacco.
sir. This is a meth pipe.
What cracks me up is there's no understanding of the law. It's the officer is not just going to say, "Oh, that's not yours." Okay.
We're getting so many on this. I just pulled up the super text line. I'm sorry. These aren't my pants. I've heard that one. Remember, you're wearing pants with meth in them,
Yeah.
and these aren't my pants,
Not
man.
mine.
These aren't my pants. Whose pants are they? These are my cousin Tommy's. Where's Tommy? He's back at the house. I must have got his pants by mistake. These aren't my pants.
Sir, they have your name stitched into the back.
Wind come up real hard and blew him right on.
Wait.
Had a big wind.
Alan writes in. It says, "Officer, where you heading in such a hurry?" Me, just trying to get home before these beers get hot. Already had to drink 3 of them. Anyway,
Drug paraphernalia.
Have you guys ever seen, so on social media, people have been posting old news clips of people, like a man on the street asking about the new drinking and driving law, and it was all people against it.
oh my God, no, those are great.
so
find
good.
that and pull them up. Find that and pull them up. Ken, this is great. This is like late 70s, early 80s. I mean,
yes, I've seen them.
When Mothers Against Drunk Driving was coming out and pushing
Yes.
DUI laws around the country. Believe it or not, in our lifetime, Ken, there were many states where it was not illegal to drink and drive.
No. In fact, you hear that one lady holding the baby says it would turn into a communist state.
I mean, next thing you know, they're going to be telling us that we can't smoke the reefer and drive around in automobiles. I mean, what the hell's going on in here?
What's wrong with a working man having a couple of beers on his way home?
I don't get it. Work all day, have to give 25% of my money to the man. I expect to be able to pull over to the damn convenience store and get myself a tall boy. You got it?
Yeah, it's ready.
Why not? Let's just go ahead.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be a communist country.
You know what? You know what just occurred to me?
Yeah.
They're right.
They're right. They're right. Those people are right. Damn it, they're right. As long as I'm not drunk, I done put in 12 hours a day. What is wrong with me pulling over, getting myself a beer, driving home? They're right. Next thing you know, they're going to be making us wear seatbelts.
That's the funny one. They're making seatbelt laws.
She was right.
You
What
should wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, but that's personal choice.
Well, what I've always said about seatbelt laws, I get asked this question a lot as a small L libertarian when I talk about, marijuana use and my belief that marijuana should be legal or things of that nature. People ask me about certain other aspects of American life, and I tell them that I believe that seatbelt use as passengers of a motor vehicle, as long as you're an adult, should be your choice. It should not be a matter of law. I can understand why states would want to make seatbelt use for the driver a matter of law, but it's not to help the safety of the driver. It's to help the safety of other vehicles, because it has been proven in study after study that if you have your seatbelt harness on, you will better be able to, in the event of a crash, control your vehicle.
Ah, okay.
Right? So, what I don't want to happen is for you to hit a car and then you go flying into the passenger seat and then here you go hit another car and now the baby's dead, right?
Yeah, you don't want that. No.
So, it's all about protecting other people and the health and safety of other people. So I get that. Before y'all ask, I believe that there should be laws passed in every state in America that if you choose to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, then no one should be obligated. No health insurance company nor no other tax-paying citizen should be obligated to take care of your health care expenses if you get in a crash and your brain goes smoosh like a watermelon. If you want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, that's fine. That is your business. But if your head goes smoosh, we're not going to spend millions of dollars while you're there sucking on a tube as a vegetable in a hospital room somewhere. Nope, we're not doing it. It was your choice to ride without a helmet, and it should be, up to your family or you to take care of your medical expenses. That's not on society anymore, and it shouldn't be on health insurance anymore because my rates go up as a result.
That's right.
So if you want to make that arrangement, if you want to sign that paperwork, that's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. Otherwise, put your damn helmet on. All right, 23 after the hour. I think we've covered it all. We can go home.
Yes, sir.
We've got more to do. I've got an update on this illegal alien Somalian guy, and I don't normally do this, but I've had some email issues, so I could tell you stories. My email is garbage right now, and there are a lot of reasons for that, and it's very detailed. My man, Michael Eddy, with Alpha and Omega, solved half of those issues. Actually, he spent an hour and a half on the phone with me today. He and the epic Eric, who just assisted me capably in figuring out what was going on. But there's a corporate issue with my emails that I can't delete any of my emails, and it's overrun my email. You want to guess how many emails I have in my deleted email folder?
How many?
My company email. Take a stab.
1,000.
That is incorrect.
Too high or too low?
That is too low.
200,000.
That's more like it. 189,000 emails.
Oh my God.
So my email has not been deleted since 2015.
Wow.
And this became a problem when I reached maximum capacity about 3 years ago. And I remember this conversation, and I don't fault Ian for this, but Ian in our IT department, we tried to figure out what was going on, and instead he said, here, I'll just give you more storage. And he gave me like 99 gigabytes of storage. He said, you'll never fill that up. Well, guess what? I did. And so now we're back to square one. The bottom line is this. I wouldn't normally do this.
Okay.
If you are my source for the Somalia arrest record, I need that arrest record again because I lost it in all of this email stuff. So if you're listening to me right now, I have a source that sent me this yesterday afternoon. It is the arrest record of the Muhammad Somalian, who has been in this community for a long time, has been arrested multiple times, and should have been deported a hell of a lot longer ago than he was or will be. And this woman that he was responsible for killing, in my estimation, could still be alive, potentially. It's 26 after the hour. All that to say, 615-737-9986. Just getting underway. It's the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Volunteer Outfitters. Have y'all gone to see Tommy and the rest of the crew up there at Volunteer Outfitters? What a gorgeous store they've put together. And people are finding out that you can get away from some of those big city high prices and get to the real deal at Volunteer Outfitters. If you love life on the lake, if you love life, maybe at the ocean, if you love that salt life, as they say, if you're gearing up for football season, they've got your team gear at Volunteer Outfitters. Or maybe you're gearing up for hunting season. The fall season is upon us. Bird hunting season is coming, y'all, and we need to be ready for it. You get ready at Volunteer Outfitters. They've got your foot gear at Volunteer Outfitters. They've got brands like Drake and Banded and Huck. I've got a hat that says Big Duck Energy. Big Duck Energy. And I got it from Volunteer Outfitters. Absolutely love that hat. You need to go by and see them on New Shackle Island Road. If you turn off of Vietnam Veterans Parkway and take a left on New Shackle Island Road, you'll see them about a mile down on the left. Tell them that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Volunteer Outfitters.
All clear given at UTC following reports of a possible active shooter. That story and more coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you, Ken Weaver. We'll get to your newscast coming up in mere seconds on Super Talk. I ran a little bit long during the opening segment, the opening monologue there. Donald Trump means it, and he is doing his best. But I'm going to explain to you at some point today why I don't think this is necessarily going to work with Vladimir Putin, because he's just not an honest actor, and he doesn't want to stop the war, and he doesn't really care about the killing, and he doesn't care about his own people. That would be Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump is doing his best, and I've been proven wrong by Trump before, and maybe he can prove me wrong this time. Yesterday was National Radio Day. We're going to talk about that as well because we missed it. For us, every day is National Radio Day. And yes, at some point, as we did yesterday, I think we were first on this, we will discuss the Cracker Barrel. Again, we talked about it yesterday, and we're going to talk about it again today. That's on the way on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. The all clear given at UTC following reports of a possible active shooter. Chattanooga Police Chief Sean O'Brien says the investigation's ongoing. No arrests.
No threat was identified or located. No injuries to this point have been recorded. Nobody has been transported to the hospital.
Classes and activities were canceled for the remainder of the day. They're expected to resume tomorrow morning. Bomb threat prompted a massive police response and evacuation of a Nashville private school. Happened at University School of Nashville this morning. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac says a staff member received the threat through an email.
The school says a staff member received that email threat around 7:30 this morning, right as families were arriving to school. And that email was actually sent to multiple schools across the country, including right here at the University School of Nashville. It prompted emergency crews to respond from Metro Police, Vanderbilt Police, and the Office of Emergency Management. 3 K-9 units also spent hours sweeping all 6 of their school buildings before giving them the all clear.
Yeah, students were allowed to return to class around 10:30 this morning. Entertainment news. That's Mastodon, and it's a sad day for fans. Co-founder and former guitarist Brent Hines died in a motorcycle crash last night in Atlanta. He was 51 years old. According to police reports, Hines was riding his Harley when it collided with a BMW SUV whose driver did not yield while turning at an intersection. Hines was pronounced dead at the scene. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, showing a crash. Police responding there westbound Jefferson. That's 40 westbound there at Jefferson Street. Looks like eastbound 440 is really backing up there at Nolensville Pike. And then so is the eastbound south leg of the loop downtown, the south loop downtown before you get to 65. Northbound 65, you're getting some brake tapping there up to the south leg. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare delivers modern medicine the old-fashioned way. They absolutely love what they do in Franklin, and they are here for you no matter where you are. Within the sound of my voice, you need to get to Grace Point Healthcare for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're great doctors, great medical facility. They're going to treat you the right way. They don't make you wait in the waiting room for a long period of time. When you come in for your appointment, they'll get you back in a hurry, and they'll fix what ails you. Secondarily, you don't have to wait to get an appointment, to set one up. I mean, you're sick today. Why would you want to wait 2 weeks, right? You can be seen same day or next day, even brand new patients. And let's talk about you brand new patients for a moment. I encourage you to ask about the Basic Smart Care Plan. They are a direct pay provider, meaning you pay Grace Point, and then you can file to get reimbursed through your insurance company. The bottom line is this. This keeps prices low, and you know exactly what you're paying right up front. And the insurance company can't get in the way of medical decisions between you and your doctor. That's the way that it ought to be. That's why they say Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. That Smart Care plan starts at $69 a month. Ask them about how your HSA can take care of that Smart Care plan. Grace Point Healthcare, you can afford exceptional medicine at your convenience. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy until 7 o'clock tonight. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show on Super Talk. I'm proud that you've decided to join us on a variety of different platforms. We are available on Spotify, iHeart, TuneIn. We're there on your app. If you download our app, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, you can take us wherever you go. We're on your radio, of course, 99.7 FM from Alabama to Kentucky and all points in between. And then on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Thank you for being there. So, an update on this illegal alien fella that was described by so many as a Tennessee man as the story broke, and he wasn't. And thankfully, some honest or more honest media outlets that were just lazy have now corrected the error. Fox News is one of them. Fox News, sometimes they get a little bit lazy with these state stories, but they try their best to repair when they can, but oftentimes the damage is done when the hay gets out of the barn with MSNBC, or what are they calling themselves now? They're not MSNBC anymore. They're MSDUMB. What I think they're
That's a good one. I like that one.
MSDUMB. NBC said, stop calling yourself NBC. We're trying to repair our brand. NBC's like, listen, we got enough trouble. We don't need y'all. So when these companies run with these storylines, they become a part of the fabric, and it's hard to get that hay back in the barn. This guy, Muhammad, is a native of Somalia. He is in the United States of America illegally. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office Tuesday confirmed that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement filed an immigration detainer for Muhammad, a native of Somalia who was arrested last week and charged with the rape of a 34-year-old woman who died at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. I've given you some of the details of this case. They are horrific. After the Metro Nashville Police Department confirmed Monday that Muhammad was born in Somalia, a spokesperson for the Davidson County Sheriff's told the Tennessee Star, and I'm relating to that story here, the alleged rapist remains in jail after his arrest. The foreign national is ineligible for release despite a magistrate judge being forced to set his bond at $300,000. We talked to Cameron Sexton about that earlier in the week, and he encourages you to vote. There's a constitutional amendment that will appear on the ballot in 26 that will give judges more authority to deny bail for individuals like this. Right now, I don't know the particulars of this specific case, but as Sexton related, often it is the judge is bound to offer some form of bail, even when they don't want to. But we can change that in Tennessee next year. We'll talk more on that as it gets closer. But according to the Davidson County Sheriff's Office, he has an active immigration detainer, will not be eligible for bond while the detainer is active. The spokesperson also confirmed Muhammad is housed at the Davidson County Male Correctional Development Center. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a detainer is filed against potentially dangerous aliens who've been arrested by another law enforcement agency and are removable from the United States. Muhammad was originally arrested after members of the Nashville Fire Department, we've been talking about this and originally spoke on it last week. The fire department was going to a call, and they drove by Nashville Life Church. And they saw this man sexually assaulting a woman. And they stopped and turned around and got to this man and got him off her and restrained him until police arrived. Sadly, the woman was under the influence of some form of drug and or alcohol combination to the point that as she was transported to Vanderbilt Medical Center, she eventually died. I would suggest that Muhammad is at least in part responsible for her death and needs to be tried for her murder and put to death if found guilty by a jury of his peers. That's my take. If this dude is not eligible for the death penalty, I don't know why we have it. And I don't care to hear about this. Well, she may have died from the drugs, or she may have died from an overdose, or his actions that night. Well, they certainly exacerbated the situation. According to the Metro Nashville Police Department, she was unable to keep her balance. They reviewed video surveillance, which is on the property at Nashville Life Church. And upon reviewing the video, they saw that she was unable to keep her balance and that she eventually sat down on a step to the church, appearing to be under the influence of some sort of substance. Muhammad approached her and sat down beside her, made physical contact with the victim. She then was going in and out of consciousness. As she would kind of come to, she tried to push him away. She tried to get away from him, could not, and eventually he sexually assaulted her repeatedly. As of today, and I've not seen any update on the story either through the Star. The Tennessean's really not doing anything with this story because it deals with an illegal alien, and of course they can't have any of that, which is sick. I mean, think about that for a moment. I mean, the Tennessee, I'll go over here because I pay the $10 or whatever the hell it is. Where's the story about the number of times the Nashville Police Department and the prosecutors in Davidson County let this dude go? And I've got the list. I'm going to get into this in just a moment. According to the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, due to the circumstances and location by which he entered the United States of America, they're not saying whether or not they're going to deport him back to his home country of origin. Obviously, all of this has to be adjudicated to begin with. Sadly, this man not only is directly responsible for the taking of another life, and once again, I understand that she was under the influence of drugs, and that could have caused directly her death, but he certainly did not help one way or the other. I don't really care. He assaulted a woman and needs to be put to death himself. That said, if Metro Nashville had been doing their job, if the prosecutors in Davidson County had been doing their job, this woman likely would be alive. And even if not, even if we are to believe that, she was under the influence and she was, hopelessly addicted and something, this would have happened anyway. The American citizen is now on the hook for trying this guy, and we're now on the hook for keeping him in jail and presenting the justice to him that he deserves. And he'll probably get 10 or 15 or 20 years in a prison system in the United States of America. And I'm not suggesting that that shouldn't be the case, but think about that for a moment. Now the taxpaying citizen is paying for this when if the prosecutors in Davidson County, and I'm pointing directly at Funk, if they had done their job, if he had been turned over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement before, during this laundry list of arrests that I'm about to relate to you, then he wouldn't have even been here and we wouldn't be on the hook for 20 years of his incarceration. But now we are. According to my sources within the sheriff's department, these are some, perhaps it's not a complete list, but it is a partial list of arrests and charges placed against this individual, Muhammad, and the adjudication of those cases. There are 29 total charges, 29, which start as far back as December of 2022. Muhammad, December 4th of 22, public intoxication, dismissed. March 1st, 2023, public intoxication, dismissed. March 31st, 23, public intoxication, dismissed. April 22nd, 2023, failure to appear. And that was, what is that? Nole, what is it called? Nole prosec. It's Latin for decline to prosecute. May 19th, 2023, public intoxication, dismissed. August 1st, 2023, sexual battery by force. Oh, we're going to prosecute that one, aren't we? No, the case retired. Well, what the hell does that mean? I don't know what the difference between retired and dismissed means. Someone can perhaps help me out with that. One of you prosecutors out there in the listening audience. January 27th of 2025, drug possession and trespass. Bonded out, failure to appear. April 25th, 2025, trespassing, dismissed. May 12th, 2025, trespassing. Declined to prosecute. It goes on and on and on. 29 total charges. 29 total charges. Multiple opportunities to get this guy off the street, to turn him over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. There was never any kind of ICE hold for 3 years. Why not? Why not? We have no way of knowing what life is going to bring us. And I have no way of knowing whether or not this woman, who reportedly is homeless or was homeless, would be alive today had she not encountered Muhammad. Here's what I do know. That if the prosecutors in Davidson County had been doing their job, he would not have been there. If our city leadership had been doing their job, this woman very likely could be alive. And I want to know when the next reporter that stands in front of Mayor Freddie O'Connell is going to ask him about this. Because Mayor Freddie O'Connell says that Immigration and Customs Enforcement make our city streets less safe. make the citizens of this community less safe. That's what he said. I want him to look at the family of this woman who is dead after being brutally raped and tell them that. Tell them that. Tell them that you believe in your policies of not turning over illegal immigration detainees to Immigration and Customs Enforcement unless it's a serious enough offense. That's what I was told during my beer summit with Freddie. He said, we don't do that. We don't detain them specifically for immigration violations. We only detain them if there's another reason. Well, let me give you a little hot tip, Freddie. If you had turned this dude over after his multiple arrests in the city of Nashville to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, this woman might not be dead. And if I sound a little angry about it, it's because I am. We have enough going on in this community. We have enough going on in this state. We have enough going on in this country with our own citizen lawbreakers. The least that we can do is to get rid of those who should not have been here in the first place. Oh, liberals love to do they love to play this word game, right? They love, well, American citizens break the laws too. Well, yeah, that's our problem. That's our problem. This dude is Somalia's problem, or should have been. And now a woman's dead. And Freddie says that ICE makes our city streets less safe. Isn't that nice? Enjoy the funeral. It's 53 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest, owned and operated by J.K. and Erica Brister. They bought U.S. Pest a number of years ago, and they've grown it by leaps and bounds. The first thing that they did when they took over the operation of the company is they made sure that every single employee was working in the same direction, pulling in the same direction. Customer satisfaction should be 100%. 100%. That's why they give you a 100% money-back guarantee on your pest control, a 100% money-back guarantee on termite protection. They do preventative and corrective service in that arena, a 100% money-back guarantee on crawl space service. They want you 100% satisfied with their service. What do? They get pests out of your life. They take what bugs you and they eliminate it out of your life because these little pests, they won't quit. I mean, they come after you. That's why you have to have the monthly service guys. They come after your home. They want what's yours. They want your food. They want your AC in the summertime and your heat in the wintertime, and they will do anything to get it. U.S. Pest is your block to disallow that from happening. USPest.com for more information. Send them by and let them give you an examination, a free inspection with U.S. Pest, 590-1260. That's 590-1260. When it comes to large home repairs, who do you trust? Well, I'm telling you, you can trust USS. But don't believe me. Well, you should believe me, but you don't have to believe me because there are 30,000 satisfied customers over the last 30-plus years that USS can point to explain to you that they're doing it the right way. You don't get 30,000 customers over that length of time for nothing, folks. USS understands home construction. They understand foundation. They understand foundation repair. They understand waterproofing and waterproofing repair. They understand concrete leveling. It's what they do at USS. And when they come out to your home, they're not trying to upsell you on anything. They're trying to solve a problem that you have in front of you, whatever that problem might be. Look, they love nothing more than to be able to tell you, this is a simple fix. We're going to do this and that, and we'll be done and out of your hair. Or sometimes the problems are a little bit more complex. USS is based right here in Middle Tennessee. Absolutely love that. They're members of our community. Homeowners simply trust USS. They do it the right way. So when it comes to concrete leveling, waterproofing service, or foundation repair, there's only one that I'll recommend, and it's USS, United Structural Systems. Give them a call today at 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or USSTN.com.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Students and staff at UTC in Chattanooga describe a scary scene when police swarmed the campus due to a possible active shooter today. Someone called 911 and reported a person in a black coat in a library on campus, but police found no shooter or victims were found, but they say they've got to react this way.
Our response is going to, especially our initial response, is going to be the same no matter what. It has to. Lives depend on it. We can never assume that something is fake.
All classes and events today canceled there at UTC. They'll resume as usual tomorrow. Then here in Nashville, Channel 4 says students at University School of Nashville, a private school, were shaken up after a bomb threat email to a staff member's computer prompted evacuations.
It's hard and it's scary because you don't know the answers, and I don't know what I would do in a real situation. I don't know, there's a bomb threat. If it's real, what would I do? I'm scared. Whatever happens, I just got to rely on the knowledge of other people.
No threat was found. Classes resumed at 10:30 this morning. Meanwhile, a University School of Nashville spokesperson says the threat was sent to schools around the country and the staff member's computer has been turned over to police. Right now in Middle Tennessee, Wilson County teachers facing higher out-of-pocket expenses for insurance coverage. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac previews tonight's school board meeting where 6 new health insurance options will be discussed.
For many teachers, the insurance benefit has been one of the biggest perks of working in Wilson County. Some say it's even the reason they've turned down other higher-paying jobs.
One of my colleagues, she said that she already has so much taken out of her paycheck that every single penny, down to the penny, is budgeted.
The school board meets tonight to go over the budget and then also see which insurance policy will move forward. If approved, those changes could go into effect next school year.
Now, the plans the board are considering could result in teachers paying between $25 and $100 more per paycheck. Rutherford County School District leaders meeting today. They're discussing possible changes to bus routes. They say they have 9 open routes right now where no one is being picked up, while other routes are overloaded. The adjustment is to get kids to the overloaded routes home faster. And a New York appeals court ruling today the more than $500 million judgment against President Trump's business was unconstitutional. It's been thrown out, but not the ruling itself, says Aaron Katursky.
They said the penalty that Engoron imposed for all of this fraud of $464 million violated the Eighth Amendment. It was excessive, and so they've thrown out the monetary judgment and it may be left to New York's highest court to determine what the ultimate penalty, if any, should be.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Rivergate Metro Police reporting a crash 65 northbound before Vietnam Veterans Boulevard, exit 95. Boy, it is really backed up if you are eastbound on the South Loop, all the way over to where 24 and 40 merge, and they come together before the eastern split. Then you got northbound 65, a lot of brake tapping going on there up to the South Loop. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Several questions coming up based on our discussion of this Somalian individual by the name of Mohammed, who was arrested or detained on a total of 29 charges starting in December of 2022, and sadly was continuously allowed out of jail up until the point that he was at least partially responsible for the death of a woman in Nashville last week. Homeless woman who was under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, who was being sexually assaulted by this individual when the Nashville Fire Department happened upon the scene. God bless those individuals for taking swift action. Sadly, they were unable to save the life of this 34-year-old woman whose name has not been released by authorities. Several of you asking, nole proseque, or proseque, I guess. Nole proseque is a Latin phrase meaning unwilling to prosecute. And in several of these cases, the prosecutor in this case, whom I can only assume is Glenn Funk, it's in Davidson County, they declined to prosecute the case. There was one trespassing case that was nole proseque. There was also a failure to appear that was nole proseque. Several public intoxication charges were dismissed. And then, odd to me, and I've gotten some additional information about this, odd to me that on several of these charges, the reference is retired. And I don't know what that means. And I have a judge who's a friend of mine, and I won't go into detail, but he's a judge in Alabama who is a regular listener to our show, and I certainly appreciate him listening. And I value his opinion on these matters. And he says, never heard of retired. And he's never heard of retired. Retired. And he did a little sleuthing and said the term retired, when it comes to a case, often refers to a situation where the prosecution of the matter is paused and or suspended for a set period of time. During this retired period, the defendant might be required to meet certain conditions. Well, we do know that on August 1st of 2023, Muhammad, a Somalian national who was in the United States of America and in the state of Tennessee and in Davidson County illegally, he was charged with sexual battery by force. That was about 2 years ago. And that case was retired. In many of these matters, the case was either dismissed or the prosecutor declined to prosecute. This is all Glenn Funk. Does no one care? Do no officials in Nashville, Tennessee, give a rip about a 34-year-old woman who is now dead? Whose last moments on earth were spent being violently assaulted, sexually assaulted by a man who had no business not being in this community or in this state, had no business in this country. And we had repeated opportunities, if not to deport him. I mean, my anger in all of this is deporting him's one thing. That's one conversation to have. You declined to prosecute him over and over and over again? At very least, is there not someone willing to question Glenn Funk? I am. What were you thinking here? Your caseload too hard or what? Give me your thought process. Tell me the circumstances behind the August 1st, 2023 case in which Muhammad, a man illegally in the United States of America, mind you, who had been repeatedly brought up on charges of public intoxication, repeatedly brought up on charges of failure to appear. He gets charged with sexual battery by force, and you retire the case. Let's walk through your decision-making process on that. Glenn Funk. Was that you? Was that you? Look, we are about this close to allowing our prosecutor in Davidson County to turn us into Memphis. (615-737-9986) is the telephone number. 615-737-9986. Robert is first up this hour. Hello, Robert. How are you? Hey, Robert, you there? I can't hear Robert. There we go. Hey, Robert. Okay? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I wanted to comment about Trump going on patrol, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be awesome. And when he goes out tonight, he's going to stop by the Subway. He's going to get a foot-long salami just so he can go down the street and kick all the Somalians out of the country. That's how I think it's going to go.
It's going to go down to the Subway, is he?
Yeah, get a foot-long salami and use it to whack all the Somalians out of the country.
It was a good go of it, Robert. I mean, it was a good effort. I'm not trying to crap on the effort. It just
is it a salami sandwich
or just a
stick of meat?
I don't know. Robert waited a long time to make the joke, and I don't want to crap on it, but I mean, it just wasn't funny. I'm all for good. I mean, I'm all for good humor, but
not a bit of laugh. From
was
you,
that
bud.
was that was supposed to be funny, right?
I think so.
And, whack them all with the salami. Whack, whack. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here.
I think your reaction is what's making it funny.
Robert held a long time. He's a listener to the show. I appreciate the fact. I appreciate he's giving it a go.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Robert, he's going to go down to the Subway. See, I was confused from the jump because I was like, does he mean like the Subway, like the Metro in Washington, D.C., or does he mean like the Subway sandwich shop? And then Robert said, oh, he's going to get him a foot long. Oh, he means the Subway sandwich shop. But then he's going to whack a guy with a salami. And, I just figured it out.
Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah.
It's he's referencing that dude that threw the sandwich at the cop.
Salami Somali.
I got it now. And then the Somali reference, I don't know what that's for. Maybe that is in reference to what we were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking
God
about.
bless you, Robert. You know what? You're just too smart for me. You're a step ahead of the host. That is highbrow humor that was lost on this lowbrow host. And I apologize, Robert. I'll try to do better next time. That was on me, Robert. That humor was good. That one was all on me. 615-737-9986. Any thoughts on, Sean's got a thought on this Muhammad fella. Hello, Sean.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, just real quick. These incidents continue to happen over and over and over, and you touched on it a bit there. How come this guy, number one, wasn't in jail, number two, hasn't been long deported? When will the victims or the families of the victims start bringing litigation against these prosecutors that failed to put these people in jail? Because bottom line, if that dude wasn't here, that woman would be alive right now.
That's right.
So
I believe that.
Long past, there's got to be some type of retribution for this, and these prosecutors need to feel that.
Well, I certainly hope that there's someone in this city, and Sean, you and I are two people that maybe don't have access to Glenn Funk. He doesn't make himself available to interviews with people like me, but I would love to believe that someone in this community in a leadership position is willing to step in front of a camera and say, Glenn Funk has some questions that need to be answered. I mean, and this is not the first time, and thank you, Sean, for the call. This is not the first time we've dealt with this. It was Glenn Funk's prosecutorial discretion that led to that fella being out of jail. I forget what his name is, that killed our Belmont University student. Oh, what was her name?
Julian Ludwig.
Julian Ludwig. That's right. Young lady dead today because Glenn Funk made the decision that he was not going to prosecute somebody because, he didn't believe like he had the mental capacity to prosecute him, so he just let him go. Just let him go. Maybe that's what he calls retiring the case. I don't know. I mean, at some point, does this community not recognize these are not Republicans that are being killed? I mean, if you want to politicize this to the point that it's been politicized in Davidson County, this is a homeless woman. Democrats want you to believe that they are the ones that want to protect the poor and downtrodden, that they are the ones that want to protect the least of us, that they are the ones that want to do best by the homeless. And they want to pretend like the Republicans are just mean-spirited SOBs, that they don't care what happens to the homeless. Well, what about this? What about this? Where are my Democrat friends speaking out against this? This lies at the feet of Funk and the Metro Nashville Police Department and city leadership. And dadgummit, I'm not going to let it go. I think it makes it more poignant and almost in a way more personal to me. And perhaps I'm making this up in my own head. Maybe. I don't know. The fact that we don't have a backstory for this woman, this 34-year-old woman. We believe that she was homeless. We're told that. There are attempts currently to find her family. The woman's identity is known to Metro Nashville Police, but it is currently being withheld. They are doing so in an attempt, according to the police chaplain, to locate and notify her next of kin. Now, those firefighters did their best, and they need to be applauded. But I think it makes it more gut-wrenching for me that this is a person that had nobody. This is, if you fill in the blanks, and maybe I'm speculating and getting out in front of my skis here, but you fill in the blanks, and God knows what this person went through. God knows what this woman went through in her 34 years. I don't know. And I'm certain that a lot of her circumstances had to do with poor decision-making. I'm certain that a lot of her circumstances had to do with her own decision-making. I'm sure of that. But I'm also sure that there were points along the way where if she had someone in her life that could have been there for her, then she could have been alive today. And it just sickens me that she's dead in part because of the decision-making by these magnanimous, holier than thou, don't have to answer to you, politicians and career prosecutors who make these decisions and go to these dinner parties and act all snotty and talk to their buddies about how awesome they are and how protective they are of the least of these among us and how mean those Republicans are and how awful they are and all that. In the meantime, they make decisions that lead to people dying. And no one's here to defend this unknown woman who's dead now. Maybe it's just me. I want to speak for her. I think she deserves answers. And we're going to try to get them. It's 21 after the hour on Super Talk. Hey, friends, Cover Nash and Shane Ring, boy, they're here for you. The community needs Cover Nash now more than ever because insurance plans, boy, they're confusing. I consider myself a pretty smart guy. Some might disagree, but I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and I don't understand a lot of this stuff. Cover Nash does. Shane Ring, I don't know how he understands it, but he does. He has all of the insurance plans available to you in the state of Tennessee at his fingertips. And he can tell you what plans work for you and what plans don't, depending on your specific circumstances, but depending on your family circumstances. What you need is a concierge in the health insurance arena. You need Shane Ring. You need Cover Nash. Right now, by the way, this PPO plan that he has, it's incredible, and he wants me to tell you about it. a $250 deductible. You can choose your doctor anywhere in the United States of America. Flat copay after the deductible of just $50. Same for specialist. And outpatient surgery for as low as $250 in copay. I mean, you heard me right. Hospital stays, a $1,000 copay, and that's it. Ask Shane Ring about this plan and the many others that he has available when you make the call that so many other people are making to cover that. He's never going to pressure you. He's not here to sell you on anything. He is here to answer your questions and to make sure that you have health coverage that's right for you without all of the confusing math. CoverNash.com or 615-465-0023. 465-0023.
Right now in Philadelphia, Villanova University has issued a warning for an active shooter. We've had some of the activity today here in Tennessee today, but they turned out to be false. We'll tell you at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Hello, Jackson.
Hi.
Everything going well in there?
Going just peachy.
Hello, Mason.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy? Things going good with you? How did Mostly Peaceful go today? Did you guys record today?
It was good. We're doing shorter episodes today.
Shorter episodes today? You tell them too much Mandis. Too much Mandis.
Too much Mandis, bro. We're testing some stuff.
Never too much hand. Too much Mandis.
Might be a little too much. Might be a little testy.
I'm just if you're in control of that, let's get more hand, less Mandis.
You don't like
more
the
hand.
reflection off Mandis's dome there?
I'm just saying. I think we need a little. We need to balance it out a little bit better.
Understandable.
I'm looking for 70% pretty boy hand 30% Golden Dome Mandis.
We'll see what I can do. Check out Mostly Peaceful around 8:30 on Saturday.
Hey, by the way, now that I'm doing more advertising for your podcast than I am for my own damn podcast. All the best words on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Watch that one first. I can't believe, I don't even.
What's that, Matt?
I don't even promote my own podcast. That's my podcast with Cameron Smith.
You have a podcast?
Yeah, I throw a word, he throws a word, we talk about the words, we argue about the words, and we get you out of there in 15 minutes. How about that? Super
What's
Talk
this
99.7 WTN.
week's word?
I think it's oh no. Hold on, I got it. It's what is it?
Intel
and
detente.
Oh, détente. That's why I couldn't remember it because it was swanky. It was a fancy pinky word.
Is that like coup d'etat?
Oh yeah. Coup d'etat and détente, they go right beside one another.
What does that mean, Matt?
Détente means a cessation of hostility.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So you remove the hostility?
Yeah. Coup d'etat, hostility. Détente, cessation of hostility.
So they don't go together.
No. They could. I mean, détente might follow coup d'etat. Or
but
coup
like
d'etat might follow.
they don't mean the same thing like you implied.
This is getting all Frenchy. It's ugh.
You need Macron. President Macron. Manuel Macron.
Macron and that fella that hangs out with him with the long hair.
Punched him in the face.
That's my favorite conspiracy theory that means nothing to anybody.
What?
And everybody gets so
Oh yeah.
The fact that she was born a guy or something. I don't even know where it came from. I don't care, but it's funny to me.
Dude, I just love that video of
oh my gosh.
That plane door opens.
And
you
she
see
just
this
pops
arm
him.
shove him in the face. Then he looks out the door and just smiles and waves.
Hello, wee wee. She has a wee wee. Anyway, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll get to your calls momentarily. I needed a break from the serious nature of what we're talking about, and it is very serious. We'll get to your calls. Let's see, as many as we can get in here. Who was first? Was Marsha first? I think so. No. Wait. What are you doing that for? I'm going to Marsha right now. Hey, Marsha.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Marsha. I hope you are.
I just wanted to say I don't think it's a good idea that President Trump goes out tonight. I worry about, the danger for him because, they'd kill him for the least little thing if they can, and they'll be watching for him. Now, I do know that he's got the biggest balls of any man I've ever met in my life. Not that I've ever met him, but that's what I like about him. That man has balls. He'll do exactly what he's going to say, no matter what. So, I do not want him and his balls shot tonight.
How many? Marsha, thank you.
Okay, I'm glad we took the call.
I can't do the news. Put that on a hot key, man. That's hot key.
Marsha.
That was hot something, Ken.
Marsha said,
I've
seen my share of balls in my day.
Can you say that?
She did.
Talking about like beach balls and
footballs.
Ken,
say it for me.
Foosballs.
Football.
He's got big football.
Let me tell you. A lot of times I see it coming.
That's hot key.
That was not something I had on my.
I did not have that on my Marsha list of things.
I'm going back on the skimmer, and I'm going to send that to Mom and Dad in case they're not listening.
Will you send it to me too, Ken, so I can make it a hotkey?
I will. I'm going to put that on my Facebook page.
All of this came out of Big Balls when Big Balls got assaulted, right? The kid that everybody calls Big Balls, and he went and so I get what Marsha was doing there.
Call back, Marsha, anytime.
Anytime, Marsha. The floor is yours. Marsha goes to the front of the line anytime she wants to call.
Oh my gosh, that's the
best call ever.
That's the best.
That was a great call.
Look, I know the man has big balls, but
she doesn't want him shot tonight.
That was great.
Wait, would you please isolate that and give it to me in an audio clip so I can send it to President Donald Trump, please?
Yes, Ken's working on that.
I'm going to personally send that call to Donald Trump.
And it's just in the perfect Southern accent, too.
I mean, I know he's got big balls, but
We don't need them shot off tonight or any night. Well, you know what? I'm going to go laugh. Ken's going to go do the news. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Philadelphia, Villanova University has issued a warning for an active shooter. Reports say they are telling students to lock and barricade doors there. That's Villanova University in Philadelphia. Now, earlier today here in Tennessee, terrifying moments when police swarmed the campus of UTC in Chattanooga for a call of a possible active shooter in a black coat in a library before the all clear was given. University of Tennessee at Chattanooga Police Chief Sean O'Brien says the investigation's ongoing.
No threat was identified or located. No injuries to this point have been recorded. Nobody has been transported to the hospital.
All classes and other activities on campus for the day were canceled. They'll resume tomorrow. Chattanooga government buildings were placed on lockdown during this, but they were cleared and reopened. Here in Nashville, a staffer at University School in Nashville, a private school, received a bomb threat email just as kids were arriving for class. Well, police swarmed, cleared everyone out, searched the campus's buildings, and determined there was no threat. Classes resumed at 10:30 this morning, but police have taken that staff member's computer for the investigation because apparently that email went out to other private schools around the nation. And a paving crew is showing up to homes unannounced, offering a deal and then asking for a lot of cash for their services. Here's Channel 4's Lydia Fielder.
An elderly couple agreed to pay $1,600 to them when a paving crew showed up at their door. Then that couple got a bill of $64,000. So the Better Business Bureau says this is a scam and has this advice here. They say always be skeptical, especially if something is too good to be true. Get a contract in writing, avoid paying right away, and report anything suspicious.
Walmart says tariffs are increasing costs, but America's largest retailer says sales and profits both increased in the second quarter. The company's chief financial officer telling CNBC the American consumer has been resilient. More Walmart customers are buying in bulk. Sales at Sam's Club warehouses were up nearly 6%, exceeding expectations. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, it is stop and go if you are eastbound 440 between 65 and 24. Then northbound 65 to get up to the South Loop, you're stopping and going too. Same thing for the northbound North Loop, and then the eastbound to South Loop over to 65. 440 is just a real mess today, too. Basically, from 40 on the west side of town all the way over to 24. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Stoltz Co. Do you own property? Are you thinking about improving the value of that property? How are you going to do that? Perhaps I might recommend an incredible post-frame building from Stoltz Co. like, I don't know, a pole barn, or maybe a barn dominium. Perhaps you're thinking about having a place for the in-laws or other family members that come over from time to time. What a wonderful chance to improve the price of your property, to improve the value of your home, and to give your family a place to stay when they come and visit you. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a barn dominium. Or maybe you just own property and you've never built on it and you're looking for a place to retire. These barn dominiums are incredible for a couple of reasons. One, and I learned this from talking to the friendly folks at Stoltzco, they are less expensive than traditional construction. They're just as awesome. They give you the open floor plan that you can just about do anything with. Anything that you can imagine you can do, whether it's a garage or an equestrian space, an event space, a pole barn, or a barn dominium. Stoltzco is your number one dealer in Middle Tennessee. They want to talk with you. Visit them online at stoltzco.com, 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 or call one of the friendly folks at Stoltzco at 615-622-5992, 622-5992 for Stoltzco. See if I can get a raw feed of that, Jackson, before we
we give him the right to build electric
there you go.
plants.
Donald Trump's talking to law enforcement right now in Washington, D.C. Super Talk 99.7.
Old grids. We have a lot of stuff that's old. We wouldn't be able to compete with China AI. And now we're totally leading the AI race and the artificial intelligence. It's a big deal. And it's the hottest thing there is for probably in 35, 40 years. It's a lot of people don't know what it is. Just trust me, it's very hot. It's big. But they need massive amounts of electricity. They need more electricity than we have right now in the whole country servicing everything. In other words, we have to at least double it up to be competitive and to be leading. And we're more than doubling it up. And what I'm doing is I'm letting all of these very rich companies, and they've got nothing but they got a lot of money, and they want to invest it in the United States. And they're building big plants, but they're building electric plants with it. I said, you build your building, and these are buildings that cost 30, 40, 50 billion dollars when you include everything that's inside, all the technology. I said, I'm going to let you build electric plants to fire your own electricity, and anything that you have left over, you sell it back into the grid. So all of these big factories that are being built are building their own electric plants fired by oil and gas. They're not fired by wind, by the way, because wind doesn't work, but we won't say that. It destroys everything. It looks terrible.
Wind doesn't work. We won't say that. Wind doesn't work.
It's a form of energy.
I love it.
And we're not doing wind. We're going back to fossil fuel. I hope not too many of you people are going to be upset, but We have to go back to what works. We can't be foolish. But we're building massive electric plants all over the country. The companies are building, and then they sell it back into the grid. But we're building numbers that nobody's ever seen. We're auto plants. We have many auto plants going up, whereas during the last 4 years, as you know, we had like none. People weren't investing here. So where they weren't investing and they were leaving. But I just finished by saying this. So I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. I was with all of the NATO leaders a couple of weeks ago, and they are putting up not 2%, but 5%. They said 5% of GDP. That's a lot of money. They'll have trillions of dollars put up. They were putting up 2, but they weren't paying it. Now they're putting up 5, and they're all paying it. And they all said the same thing. They said, 1 year ago, your country was dead. We never thought it was coming back. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. These are the leaders of other countries, the prime ministers and the presidents, every one of them said essentially the same thing, said we had a dead country, and we were. We felt that way, and we were. And this place was emblematic of it with the crime, the horrible crime. And, you know, I watch these phony reports. Oh, we were on the way back. They weren't on the way back. It was worse than ever just a short while ago. But now it's going to be, I think now, right now, it's better than it has been in years. And in a couple of weeks, it's going to be even far better than that. And everybody's safe now. Everybody feels safe. And they're all coming in. And people are now coming in. They're making reservations to come in. They want to be in Washington, D.C. One of the things we're going to be redoing is your parks. I'm very good at grass because I have a lot of golf courses all over the place. I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world. And we're going to be regrassing all of your parks, all brand new sprinkler systems, the best that you can buy, just like Augusta. No, it'll look like Augusta. It'll look like, more importantly, Trump National Golf Club. That's even better. But we're going to have all brand new, beautiful grass. You know, like everything else, grass has a life. Do you know that? Grass has a life. You know, we have a life and grass has a life. And the grass here died about 40 years ago. So we're going to be rebuilding all of your parks, and it's going to happen fast. It's going to go up like a miracle. So you do the job on safety, and I'll get this place fixed up physically, and we're going to be so proud of it at the end of 6 months. But let's say at the end of a year, this place will be maxed out in terms of beauty. You'll have all new surfaces. You'll have all new medians. Everything's going to look beautiful. A lot of your signs are going to be taken down. They've been up for 40 years. They look like hell. They're barely standing up. They're falling off their holders. And we're going to have all new everything. And I want to just thank Doug for doing such an incredible job. You've been unbelievable.
Doug Burgum is standing next to him.
No, he's an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. Everybody loves him. We love you. And his wife is so incredible. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Pam, thank you very much. What a job. She's
Pam Bondi, Attorney
People
General.
don't realize. They're going to see. She'll go down as the greatest Attorney General we've had. I really mean it, too. And where's my Christy? Here, you dear. Thank you very much.
Christy, no.
She's been incredible.
Department of
and
Homeland
she
Security.
can ride a horse like nobody. She
Oh.
gets on those horses. She rips those horses around. But I want to thank you very much. And Steve Miller, so fantastic. And Todd Blanche, who's been
I
with
hope
me
he
so
names
long,
every
he's
person
one of
in the
best
crowd.
lawyers
Every
you'll
single
ever
one of
find. And we're having a lot of victories. I had a victory today. You know, they stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory, you know. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we all have our limits, but this was a terrible thing that done. It was a witch hunt, and I've had more witch hunts than any human being, I think, in history. And here we are with the President of the United States, so it didn't work out too well for them, but maybe now it's turned a little bit. These are very dishonest people. We have to fight. We have to win because we have to win. And you people are winners, and I just think it's such an honor to be with you. And we're going to make Washington, D.C. great again. We're making our country great again. The country is very close to being great. When they say it's the hottest country in the world, they mean it. And this capital is right now, after 4 days, 5 days, it's at a level that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's all because of you. So I want to thank you all very much. It's an honor to be with you, and we'll always be with you. We're going to be with you for as long as I'm around, you're going to be treated as nobody more important. And thank you all very much for being here.
There's President Donald Trump speaking before assembled law enforcement officers in Washington, D.C. today, talking about their efforts to clean up Washington crime, as he is authorized to do, and saying that he's going to plant some grass. Yes. That he knows grass. I know grass better than anybody knows grass. I know, the Augusta National, they say they know grass. They don't know grass. They say, Ken Weaver, they say Willie knows grass. Willie doesn't know grass. I know grass. They say Snoop Dogg understands grass. I understand grass far better than Snoop, far better than Willie. It's going to be great grass. You plant it, it grows, it has a life cycle, you smoke it. There you go.
I just like what he said. We're not going to use the wind. The wind doesn't work.
No, I'm not here to talk bad about wind, but I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes and we're going to talk bad about wind. It doesn't work. We're going to bring back fossil fuels. I hope you don't mind. God, look, he's just. I loved Trump 1.0.
Yeah.
And I was as disappointed as anyone when he did not win election. And I was confused. I got to tell y'all, I was confused why we were allowing this to happen, how in the world it could have happened, what was going on, what were the results of COVID. I mean, I was just confused. I think many of us were. And, this to me just demonstrates that there's a plan that we don't understand. And Trump 2.0, I hated that 4-year break, but we needed it. This guy here, he recharged his batteries, and from day one, he has been on not just one, but multiple missions to make America great again, more focused than ever. And to hell with the detractors. All they've got is name calling. All they've got is he's an authoritarian, he's this, he's that, he's that. Whatever. Y'all sit on the sidelines, continue to call names, have no action plan. The American people recognize that the Democrats have nothing to offer as an alternative. And he's cleaning up the mess that they created, and frankly, that Republicans allowed them to create over the last 50 years. And God bless him for it. And you can say anything you want to about him. You can call him, whatever. He doesn't care. I don't care. America doesn't care. Just get the job done. Just get the job done. That's fine. That's fine. Call him a fool. Call him foolish. Call him whatever you want to. While you're busy name calling, while you're busy moaning and complaining about the mess that you made, Donald Trump's going to get busy cleaning it up. And we're going to paint the poles, and we're going to reattach the signs, and we're going to plant the grass, and it's going to be beautiful. And I know that he's right. All right, back to your calls. Several of you wanting to comment on Mohammed, the illegal alien Somalian, allowed to be in this country for inexplicable reasons, dismissed charges against him repeatedly at the hands of DA Glenn Funk, one would assume. Tom is next up on this subject. Tom, thank you for your call.
Sorry about that, Matt.
No, you're okay, Tom. I appreciate you holding.
So, where's Bill Lee? Where's Jonathan Scrimetti? Nashville is still in the state of Tennessee, and why are we allowing this to happen? Why are we letting it happen in Memphis? Beale Street used to go ahead and be absolutely wonderful. I don't want to go anywhere near there. Maybe Jay would be the person to ask that question to tomorrow, but why would the state stand back and let individual cities just fall into ruin?
Boy, it's a great...
I don't get it.
The question that needs to be asked, and you're right to ask it today, and I will do my best to get those on that can perhaps answer, whether it's Jack Johnson over in the Senate majority, the majority leader in the Senate, whether it's Cameron Sexton, who was on with us earlier this week, Bill Lee, or A.G. Scrimetti is another good person to ask. Where is the line of no return? What is the trigger point, no pun intended, by which you decide that these cities have abandoned law and order to the point that the people, the citizens of the cities, are at such risk that it is necessary for the state to take these cities over. And we shouldn't do it lightly. I mean, by no means should we override the authority of local rule willy-nilly. But at some point, I mean, there's a point where we do it, right? And I think, Tom, you and I agree that we perhaps certainly have reached that point in Memphis, and it feels like you're reaching that point in Nashville.
If you have a federal law and the state adds to it but doesn't take away, that's allowed. If the state has a law and the city doesn't take away from it but adds to it, typically that is allowed. But at what point in time are you allowed to go ahead and step up and say, you know what? Yeah, I understand that's the law, but you know what? We're just not going to quite do that today or tomorrow or the next day. Not to go ahead and take away from what you're talking about, but in the bigger picture, there is no state tax in Tennessee, primarily because of tourism.
Amen.
Keep that nonsense up, you're going to lose your tourism.
That's right.
And it's going to hit everybody.
And these governments are going to still want their money, right? If we lose those tourism dollars, I promise you the state's going to still spend its money, and then it's going to fall on us. And so, I mean, it's a double whammy if we don't do something about it. Great call, Tom. Thank you for making it. I appreciate it this afternoon. It's 53 after the hour. Cheryl, we'll get to you. Mike, your call as well as we continue on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Nashville Safe House is your one-stop shop for all things safes am I saying that right? All things safes in this community. I mean, if you need a safe, go to Nashville Safe House. If you're looking for the best fire rating around, Nashville Safe House. If you don't really know what you want, but you're looking for the best selection in the United States of America can be found at Nashville Safe House. They've got more safes than you can imagine. I mean, you'll walk in and you'll walk into the showroom and you'll think, oh, my goodness gracious, you're so right. These are more safes than I could imagine. And then if I told you that there are over 400 other safes in the warehouse, that's right, 200 or so safes on the floor in stock and another 400 or so in the warehouse. Ladies, if you need a jewelry safe for all of your safe valuables, they've got them at Nashville Safe House. The largest selection of Browning, Liberty, and Fort Knox safes in the Southeast, and I would suggest that means in the United States of America. They've been family-owned and operated for 33 years. The Safe House is the only safe company in this state that has their own specialty delivery crews, their certified delivery crews. Friends, don't let a crackhead deliver your safe. Get one delivered from Nashville Safe House. The best selection, the best prices around, the best rebates around, the best delivery crews around. It's all on 4th Avenue South in Nashville. Online at NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
5 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. An active shooter alert has been issued at Villanova University in Pennsylvania. The school telling students stay clear of Law School Scarpa Hall. That's about 175,000 square feet, a key element of the School of Law's facilities, which includes a library, cafeteria, a coffee bar. Villanova professor Keith Wright can see the law school from where he's barricaded.
You know, there's so many people on campus. I didn't hear anything because it's orientation. Classes begin on Monday, and there's just thousands of parents and students. There's so many people on campus.
Now, he says he can see broken glass where the SWAT team is, but so far, no victims or shooter has been found. Right now in Tennessee, authorities say there was no active shooter on the campus at UTC in Chattanooga today, but it took a massive police response and evacuations before the all clear was given.
Our response is going to, especially our initial response, is going to be the same no matter what. It has to. Lives depend on it. We can never assume that something is fake.
A Chattanooga police spokesperson indicated the incident originated from a shots fired call and of a person wearing a black coat in the library, but police found no shooter or victims. Classes there at UTC and other events were canceled for the rest of the day. They're going to resume tomorrow. Here in Nashville, authorities are looking into a bomb threat email that prompted the evacuation of the University School of Nashville. That's a private school where a staffer got the email right as kids were arriving this morning. Police swarmed the campus. They got everyone out. Then the all clear was given and classes resumed at 10:30. That email went to other schools across the nation, and Metro Police took that staffer's computer for investigation. In Wilson County, the school board could make changes to teacher pay tonight. Channel 4 says they're going to vote on 6 different insurance plans, each one with higher out-of-pocket expenses. Reporter Joylyn Bukovac with more.
Right now, single policyholders don't pay anything, but under these new proposals, then teachers would have to pay anywhere between $25 and $100 more per paycheck for their health care. The district says it can't keep pulling money from the general fund to cover insurance like it has in years past, and that's why they're trying to find other ways to balance next year's budget.
And in our nation's capital,
President Trump said in a radio interview Thursday he is, quote, going out with police and military in Washington, D.C. tonight. It comes as his administration has ordered a surge of federal law enforcement and National Guard to respond to what the president says is a crime emergency in the district. The White House hasn't provided details of where he'll go and what he'll do. On Wednesday, Vice President Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited National Guard on duty at Washington's Union Station. Protesters could be heard chanting, "Free D.C." as Vance and Hegseth handed out burgers to troops and spoke to reporters at a restaurant there. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Clarksville Highway Patrol says there's a crash 24 westbound as you're approaching MLK Parkway. Over in the Hermitage, police reporting a crash partially blocking the off-ramp 40 eastbound to Central Pike. Then in Madison, got a stalled vehicle off on the right shoulder there, 65 northbound past Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway. Sylvan Park, police reporting a crash 40 westbound at White Bridge Pike, Briley Parkway West exit 204. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, we'll jump back on the phones momentarily. It is 5:07. Thank you for being with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We carried a little bit of Donald Trump's remarks to law enforcement officers in Washington, D.C., as he's visiting law enforcement. He was going to, I thought he was going to do like a ride-along. I'm not sure if he does a ride-along or not. One way or the other, the president of the United States offering some remarks about cleaning up Washington, D.C., making Washington, D.C. great again, by extension, making the United States of America great again. We're glad that you're with us. We hope to make your afternoon, your commute home, a little bit better than it already is. Hopefully it's going fairly well. I mean, look, if you're in your automobile, if you're enjoying yourself, if you're on the way home, no matter how slow traffic is going, know this. You're doing better than me, because I don't know where my truck is. I feel like maybe my truck has been sold to someone.
What are you talking about?
So I sent my truck in yesterday.
Yeah.
And I took it in for a computer glitch. It was doing something weird, Ken, where, the center, isn't your car in the shop too, by the way?
No, I got it out.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I had to give him my left arm.
Ew. I'm fearful that that's going to happen to me. Jackson has predicted that this auto shop fiasco that is currently going on with me is going to eventually call me. What did you say? 2 days of live reads?
I said a week.
A week? That's like a truck. Come on, man. Anyway, we've got a guest on the line.
Yes,
I'll share more on that with you in a moment, Ken. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, I can't get anybody to. I'm sure they're working on it. They can't figure out. It's a gremlin in the system, man. Every time I touch the volume button, everything goes black. But just the volume button.
That's weird.
It is very weird. Little glitch in the matrix. But anyway, more coming up on that in just a few moments. Right now, we turn our attention to the Murphy Show hotline, where Congressman Tim Burchett awaits. Always a great conversation with the congressman, and I'm always excited as to his take on the variety of issues in front of us on any given day. Tim, good afternoon. Hope you're well, sir.
You're obviously grounding that out when you touch it. And I don't know enough about the situation, but I'm just telling you.
Well, but here's the deal, Tim. Here's the deal.
Get your checkbook out.
Yeah, I know. So here's the deal, though. Here's the weird part, and you'll appreciate this because I know you're a bit of a car guy, right?
All right.
This is a 2022 GMC Sierra 2500. If I turn the volume knob on the console, the computer console just goes black, and you have to shut the truck down and you crank it back up and it comes back again. But if I adjust the volume on the steering column, it does the same thing. So it's got to be some sort of switch relay situation, don't you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, but that's a little out of my pay grade. I like old stuff.
I know, man. Give me a nice 1974 Chevrolet pickup. I can fix that.
Yeah,
and I can't fix this. I wish I could fix Washington, D.C., but it feels like Donald Trump's doing his best to do that. I thought he had reached peak Trump when he positions these liberals to be against the most obvious of issues, like, border security and stopping killing people in foreign conflicts. But he has outdone himself on this D.C. deal. No one denies he has the right to do it. and the liberals are running around sounding off like they're pro-crime, Tim. I mean, what do you make of all of it?
Let's be specific. It's the liberal whites from the suburbs, the liberal whites. And I want to give you an example. And I realize everybody's cringing right now, but this is the truth. So we have in the oversight committee, we bring in Washington, D.C. to talk to us about crime because Washington, D.C. is a function of Congress. No question. So it was created by us. Not me, but you know what I mean, my predecessors. So you've got 6 white guys that come in there to explain us that there's no crime in Washington. Sitting behind them are black folks that live in these neighborhoods, activists, families, all kinds. And I said, why are there only white guys up there? You can go back and watch the tape. And they, you know, him hauled around. As I left that day, I had a member of Congress, a black man, who's a very good friend of mine, thanked me for that. He said, Tim, that needed to be said. And, you know, and it goes back to, I used to go to church with a guy who was an FBI agent, and he told me, he said, Tim, he said, in the inner cities, you have some of the best people in the country, and they're being held hostage by some of the worst. And that's what you're seeing right now. This is all about power. It's all about power. They don't care about crime. They don't care about these kids that don't have any education whatsoever, that the per pupil spending is the highest in the country. They don't care about that. All they care about is keeping in power, keeping their numbers to where they are in charge. That's all this is about. It's classic Washington 101. Has nothing to do with doing what's right. And that's all this is about. And they're going to make the left is going to say, oh, Trump, he walks out in this stage thing. Well, dadgummit, he can't walk out anywhere. You know, you've got buildings, you've got rooftops. That is a nightmare for the Secret Service. So I'd say his visibility will be very limited. But I'll guarantee you, if you go on the internet tonight and start looking at all these folks that are proud of what's going on and they're happy. You got moms. I was just on Fox Business just a minute ago, and right before me was a couple of moms whose kids had gotten murdered, and they're gone. Nothing's going to bring them back. And I guarantee you, they don't vote Republican, but they were cheering Donald J. Trump. And that's what needs to happen.
Well, certainly.
It's out of control.
Well, and look at, I don't know if you're familiar with the story local to Nashville, this Somalian guy, he was originally described as a Tennessee man. Obviously, he was not.
Yeah.
In the country illegally, named Muhammad, was found by the Nashville Fire Department brutally sexually assaulting a woman who later died at his hands.
Who later died, yeah.
And we found out he had 29 separate charges against him prior to being arrested for this brutal assault. And on several of those, he was charged with sexual battery. And those cases were, quote, retired or dismissed by the prosecutor of Davidson County, Glenn Funk. And I'm asking the question locally, why in the hell are more? I mean, this was a homeless woman that was assaulted. So these liberal Democrats sit on their ivory tower and pretend to care about the least of these and accuse you, Tim Burchett, and me, Matt Murphy, of not caring about the least of these. And they won't do anything about it. They won't even speak to this issue where this woman died at the hands of a Somalian man that should not have been here had the right policies been followed years ago.
100%. He should not have been here. My granddad, who was a rural letter carrier, New Deal Democrat, he's spinning in his grave right now. The party of the working man and women, of equality, of doing what's right, is now the party of men in women's dresses and sports, running our borders over, no energy independence, crime, you name it, every issue, they're diametrically opposed. And, the best friend they got right now is the Republican Party, because I'm afraid sometimes our messaging, we can't get out of our own way. But we don't have to do anything. And everybody always says, oh, we got to do something about Jasmine Crockett. No, we don't. Let them talk. Let those people talk.
100%.
Let every one of those people talk. and they'll take care of themselves. Don't make a martyr out of them. Just let the left show those protests, and people will draw their own conclusions, because it is obviously they're so far out of touch with what's going on in this country. They have sold their soul to the devil. They are, I have great friends that are Democrats in Middle Tennessee that are listening to this show probably right now, and they are scratching their heads wondering what happened to their Democrat Party.
No, it's they're off the reservation. They don't have any ideas anymore, and more Americans are recognizing that. They don't have the backs of the little people like they claimed when I was growing up, when you were growing up. I mean, my grandfather was a Democrat all of his life, and he used to say, we're not rich enough to be Republicans. Well, that script is over. That script has flipped, and the party of the little guy is the Republican Party now. I want to ask you about Texas redistricting and your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is in the middle of a census. It's an obvious attempt to secure more seats in the House of Representatives. That's Texas's right. They have the ability to do redistricting anytime they want to. Now, I find it funny that California doesn't. California voters took that right away from the California legislature, but they're doing it against their own laws in response. But I say bring that on. If they want to play this game, Republicans are going to win this game at the end of the day, because Democrats have already been doing this. They've already gerrymandered most of their states to the point that they don't have much gerrymandering left to do.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd that they went to Illinois, of all places, Chicago. I mean, to hide out. But let's look at the facts. In Texas, there's a redistricting because of populations. That is, and they can say whatever they want to, but elections do have consequences. So they're following their laws. Then California is going to change their law, or just not even follow their law at all. And they're publicly stating, so we can get even. So we will take back the seats that we lost in Texas. That is I'll guarantee you, if that gets into any court that's not a DEI hire, that will be thrown out quickly, because that is not what this is about. Elections have consequences. Parties have a right to fight for their existence, and when we do it, they call it. When we do it, we call it redistricting. When they do it, it's murder. It's just the same old thing. We're winning elections. They can't stand it, so they're changing the rules.
I don't know if you're a big fan of Cracker Barrel. I put myself through school working at a Waffle House, and I managed a Waffle House for about a year in Athens, Georgia, Tim. So I've always been partial to the awful waffle, but I've been in a Cracker Barrel or two. Obviously, born in Lebanon, Tennessee. Have you heard this story about Cracker Barrel going a little woke on us?
I've heard it. I got mad at Cracker Barrel when they quit carrying my French dressing, the whatever it was, about the time that they started serving alcohol. I thought that was an abomination of Cracker Barrel. But yeah, now they've gone woke. I mean, they're losing their traditional thing. They're going the way of a lot of great chains. I think you look at some of these great chains, if they just go back to the way they were originally, and they had the menus that they had originally that people liked, I think the people would show up. I think you're gonna see Cracker Barrel is gonna lose market share. And yes, I love the Waffle House. I ate there 2 nights ago. It is America's premier steakhouse.
They serve, at least when I was working there in the mid-1990s, Tim, they promoted the fact that they served more T-bone steaks than any other restaurant in the United States of America. It was true. True.
And I love them. But you could read a newspaper through them. They're not telling you how thin they are. They're just telling you that they're there. So talk to me a little about your decision. I mean, it feels, quick to endorse Senator Marsha Blackburn. I don't want to put thoughts in your head, but just give me those. Tell me what your thought process behind going ahead and doing this. I served with Marsha. I served with Marsha in the Senate. I was in the state Senate before she was, actually, when she was, I believe, Commissioner of Films, and we developed film credits. It's something you won't hear anything about. I ended up passing the legislation or actually doing that, getting money for film credits to bring movies into the state of Tennessee. And, the income tax is a huge deal. That is the number one reason when you talk to people why they're here, the tax status of this state. Because they come from these states, they get a crazy income tax, and then they're not here. So she stood up. She stood in the gap. And I said this, it was right after I joked, but right after Al Gore invented the internet, and she got on the computer, and I sat right beside her, and I remember, saying, send the troops out, and they did, and the state responded. That was a pivotal time. People can talk about it. Look, I was there. I was in the governor's office. I was in the negotiations in the House and the Senate between the Democrats and the Republicans. It was down to one person's vote, and Marcia turned the tide. If that hadn't happened, we would have had an income tax. We would have never gotten out from under it because we have an income tax and a sales tax. And the big boys wanted an income tax because of the tax structure in the code. They'd switch over to investment income, which would not have been taxed under the state of Tennessee's tax structure that they were trying to pass. So your millionaires and billionaires were passing that thing on to us. She stopped it dead in its tracks. And, and look, the state legislature is a really well-run machine. The Speaker of the House and the Speaker of the Senate, fiscal conservatives, good people, they can maintain it. You really don't need somebody to run roughshod over you. You got to have somebody that can maintain, and we don't have to have marathon sessions. When I was in the legislature, I remember one year, I think we spent 9 months in Nashville. 9 months. I mean, I was there during fanfare, which I don't know what if they even have it, whatever they call it now. And look,
CMA Fest. When you're senator, you need to know this. It's CMA Fest, Tim.
Well, it is now, but back then it was fanfare. But I got a great story real quick. I was at Demos one night. Me and my buddy Brian Mabry were at Demos. I know it's Demos's or whatever. We call it Demos. It used to be downtown. And it was during fanfare, and all these tourists were there, and they were lined up out the door. And this tall, lanky guy walks by the door, and I go, hey, that's Vince Gill. And they all ran out the door chasing the guy. And Brian and I walked right up to the stand, and they go, table for two? And yes. And we walked right in. But anyway, so Vince Gill, if you're listening, thank you. You got us fed that night.
Vince is a fan of the show. He might be. You never know. Well, all right, I'm going to get yelled at, but I have to ask this question. I'm going to beat myself up if I don't. Look, I'm just Tim, I know you. You're as honest as the day is long, but you've also been quite honest about your desire to continue your service in any capacity that you're called to continue it. You're open to the idea of being the next U.S. Senator in the state of Tennessee, are you not?
Absolutely. I'm not going to be one of those guys that says, oh, I was drafted or I'm forming a study committee. If given the opportunity, I will take that opportunity. I think the Senate needs to be shook up a little bit. And I think somebody of my temperament might be the one to do it. I've got pretty good exposure on the national issues, and I think I can articulate the point of the conservative people. We're going to lose our country, brother, and that is not political doublespeak. We've got to have more people that are willing to stick their neck out and say what's going on in both parties. And I think I'm that guy, and I think I could do a really good job at it.
Tim, we will continue this conversation down the road. You know how much I love your forthright nature, your honesty, your straight shooter, and I appreciate that about you. And you're always willing to come on and talk about the issues of the day, and we love that about you too. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, brother. And I love the fact that you like Waffle House. We'll have to eat there.
Come on,
my doctor says I'm getting too much salt, so I don't know what you do there.
No, you order a triple over light plate, scatter, smother, cover, chunk, top, dice. That's what you do, okay?
All right, I'm there.
All right, we'll see you. All right, take care. There's Tim Burchett. I'm late, 25 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so the Glock store in Nashville, Tennessee. Friends, if you've not been, where you been? I mean, you got to go. The Glock store is a beautiful retail shop. They've got an incredible manufacturing division. They'll show you around the manufacturing portion of the store. You can also see the shooting rooms, Neverlane shooting rooms. And I didn't know a lot, and I've admitted this as we've been talking about it the last several weeks. I didn't know a lot about C-cuts, which are compensator cuts for your Glock. These are slots cut into the barrel in the slide. They redirect bullet blast so that you can stay on target. I mean, the bottom line is it helps reduce muzzle flip, which in part reduces recoil. And in that way, you keep on target better. Well, the cuts that they're doing at the Glock store now, the compensator cuts, are identical to the ones that were found in the high-end Gen 3 compensated Glocks, but they've not been made available over the last several years or models. Until now, the Glock store has an ability to compensate your Glock, and they'll do it in less than 10 days, and you'll end up with a flatter shooting gun with less recoil, which means you become a more accurate shooter. And I need all the help I can get, friends. I don't know if you do, but if you want to try it before you buy it, you can do that too. You'll see the difference. They've got a Glock 17, a Glock 19, and a Glock 43X in their shooting room and the shooting lanes in their range, and you can buy a sample bullet pack for $6.99, and you can shoot your choice of these guns. Now, the C-cuts make a great difference in all the models, but that 43X is something that I would strongly advise you to check out. And don't forget to bring your barrel and slide to go ahead and get that done. The Glock store, minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, online at glockstore.com. Hey, folks, it's Matt Murphy for Advanced Hair. Listeners ask me on occasion, what makes advanced hair restoration different? Allow me to share a couple of details with you. Number one, Advanced Hair stands by their results. Their before and after photos are second to none. You'll see it for yourself. With Advanced Hair, you grow your own natural hair, and it's guaranteed to grow. I say it's guaranteed to grow. Number two, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, presenting a concierge-level experience, a quality experience that's hard to find anywhere else. As a matter of fact, I would suggest you cannot. Advanced Hair's FUE procedure begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, it is simple, it is easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule for the rest of the summer, I would encourage you to go ahead and call and take advantage of an incredible savings opportunity at Advanced Hair. Their summer savings event is going on right now. You get the most hair for your dollar, the best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, call 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR, or online at advancedhair.com, advancedhair.com.
5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And it looks like that active shooter alert at Villanova University in Philadelphia has been canceled. The school says it was a hoax. Here in Tennessee, the all clear given at UTC in Chattanooga following reports of a possible active shooter today. Campus Police Chief Sean O'Brien says the investigation's ongoing.
No threat was identified or located. No injuries to this point have been recorded. Nobody has been transported to the hospital.
Nobody's been arrested, but they are investigating. And here in Nashville, they're investigating a bomb threat that prompted a massive police response and evacuation of Nashville Private School, University School of Nashville. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac says a staff member received that threat through an email.
The school says a staff member received that email threat around 7:30 this morning, right as families were arriving to school. And that email was actually sent to multiple schools across the country, including right here at the University School of Nashville. It prompted emergency crews to respond from Metro Police, Vanderbilt Police, and the Office of Emergency Management. 3 K-9 units also spent hours sweeping all 6 of their school buildings before giving them the all clear.
Yeah, so police took that staff member's computer for investigation. Students were allowed to return class around at 10:30 this morning. And entertainment news. That's Mastodon, and it's a sad day for fans. Co-founder and former guitarist Brent Hines died in a motorcycle crash last night in Atlanta. He was 51 years old. According to police reports, Hines was riding his Harley when it collided with a BMW SUV whose driver did not yield while turning at an intersection. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, picking up a crash here in Berry Hill. Police say it's 65 southbound at Armory Drive. In Clarksville, Highway Patrol still reporting 24 westbound as you're approaching MLK Parkway. And then in Talbot's Corner, a crash partially blocking the off-ramp 65 southbound to Trinity Lane. Eastbound 440 is stop and go in the usual place. It's going to be between 65 and 24. Northbound 65, stop and go before you get to the South Loop downtown. The eastbound East Loop is stop and go. Same thing going for the eastbound South Loop. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Alpha and Omega Computer Consultants. I had a great conversation with Michael with Alpha and Omega earlier today. He's the owner of Alpha and Omega, and one of his teammates, Eric. They were helping me out with a problem. And listen, I'm just a little guy with no computer skills whatsoever. And I had a big email problem. And I called Michael. I said, Michael, I know you got bigger fish to fry. I know you need to do more things with businesses and with bigger customers. Can you help me out? He said, I'm happy to help you out, Matt. If he can feed this baby bird, if he can help me figure out my issue, which was a complex one that's been growing over the last 10 years or so, and he did. Michael and Eric, they were so good to me. They can offer you such great service, personalized service, right here in Middle Tennessee. If you're a business owner, do me a favor. Call Michael and his team. They're not here to do a hard sell with you. They want to help you. They want to help with your computer needs. Whether you're a small company with just a couple of computers, I bet you're online. And if you're online, you're not cyber secure unless you have Alpha and Omega on your team. They offer 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week protection from threats, compliance for all industry. And listen, friends, your cybersecurity is being threatened, whether you know it or not. 14 ransomware attacks on a daily basis. Get Michael, get Eric, and the rest of the team at Alpha and Omega on your side. Call them today like I did, 615-784-0096, 784-0096, or go to a&o.net, a&o.net. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. How's your back? How's your pain? You doing okay? How's mama and them? They doing okay? If not, if there's pain in your family, if there's pain in your back and your knees and your hips and your elbows, before you do anything else, before you keep taking those painkillers, before you consider spinal injection or, goodness me, before you consider surgery, do me a favor and contact Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I know I did. They have the Big Daddy Trump special going on right now. It's a pretty cool way to get you through the door, right? I mean, they want to introduce you to spinal decompression and the modern techniques and technologies available to you that can alleviate pain in your body without having to resort to painkillers or to needles or to surgeries. Once again, surgery is sometimes a necessary step, but it should always be the final step in the journey. Let's take that journey together with the Wellness Institute of Nashville. That Big Daddy Trump special, $12. $12 for your initial comprehensive examination, x-rays, diagnosis, and first treatment. 615-246-5009, 246-5009, or painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. You know, I'm going last under protest on Ninkampoops today because I don't know that Jackson really won that yesterday.
I won handedly.
I don't know that I believe in all of that. Now, am I too lazy to go recount it? Yes, I am.
Now, is Jackson pulling an Auburn here?
He's counting. Are you counting national championships that were not awarded by the proper authorities, Jackson?
I won Ninkampoops, voted by our wonderful listeners.
Uh-huh. That's like Auburn's counting that 1913 national championship because the Greater Montgomery Barbershop Association said that they won the national championship. So there.
Hey, Ken, you know what it's time for?
What's it time for, brother
Time for
Jackson?
Ninkampoops in the news.
I'll just take over.
Ninkampoops in the news.
You know what? I'll walk home, which is how I'd have to do it because I don't have a truck.
You wouldn't make it. You wouldn't make it to Broadway.
I ought to name the service department of my. But I like the place that I took my truck, and I'm gonna get. I have confidence they're gonna fix the truck.
I'll take you home, brother Murphy.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Thank you so much. You're very kind.
Would
Can't
not
leave
let
him
you
here.
walk.
I bet I could get a ride. I bet I could go out there and get me a ride from one of these ne'er-do-wells outside of this facility. Just go over there to that Comfort Inn. I can get old marbled rye haircut to take me home.
Yes, sir.
You remember that fella?
Yes, sir. So will the room be ready at 4? What is his name? Ken Weaver. No room. Don't worry. He'd be here at 4.
Oh, remember what they told us the night after we stayed there? Y'all were supposed to be at the Best Western.
Yeah.
Why did we book you over there?
Wait, what happened?
We stayed over there.
Over at this Comfort Inn.
Over there?
Yeah.
Had an old boy over there.
How was that?
Yeah.
Not good.
It's a what's the name? Give the name. No room.
He's
And
like,
it's a, your room will be ready at 4.
he's like the soup Nazi from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
No room for you. From my experience was my room was there.
Yeah, you were set.
Oh, yeah, but then I got in the room and the heater didn't work. Remember, there was ice everywhere.
Right.
And so I went back up and I said, my heater doesn't work in my room. Go back to room. We will be there. I'm like, well, do you have another room? Go back to room. I'm like, okay. So I go back to the room and it's like, by then it's like 9:00 at night. Jackson, they knock on my door and I open the door and they push this cart in with a huge heater.
You were warm, weren't you?
And no, they replaced the actual unit in the room while I'm sitting there. It took them like an hour.
And it was
Very
cold outside, boy.
It was cold.
Oh, it was cold.
Anyway, so yeah, I'll get a ride from Marble Rye over there at the Comfort Inn if I
No
need
ride.
be.
No ride for you.
No ride
Why
for
were
you.
y'all booked at the Comfort Inn?
It was icing.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I mean it was.
No, like we normally stay somewhere else.
Why
That's not-
specifically was
Yeah.
there? I'm going to go ahead and blame Dan Mandis
Oh, that
of
makes
Nashville's
sense.
Morning News.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Broken TV, wrong hotel. Just
I mean, I default to that.
when was this?
A couple. I hadn't been here long.
It's been. Hey, that was your first year.
That was my
here,
first
man.
winter. That was my
Yeah.
January, February of 22.
Yeah.
So that was a minute or two ago.
Nasty weather that day. Nasty.
It was nasty. Icy. Just cold. Bitter cold.
Yes, sir.
All right, speaking of bitter cold, I'm a little cold toward the listening audience because I've lost my mojo with you, so I'm going to try to pick it back up with Ninkampoops in the news today.
All right, Brother Murphy.
Jackson claims the victory, so I guess Jackson gets to go first.
Way to go, Brother Jackson.
We're going to Nebraska, boys. The Norfolk Police Division is reminding the public to remain aware when securing their home. This comes after a man was arrested who police say broke into 2 homes overnight, fully naked. 20-year-old Levi Wright of Norfolk, Nebraska, was arrested on Wednesday, August 20th, following a series of incidents that took place that morning. The division says officers were called to a home in the 300 block of 11th Street just after 4:30 a.m. Norfolk police said they received a report of a man wearing only undergarments entering a home and leaving. The situation, according to police, was caught on a home security camera. Officers at the scene found a man, now identified as Wright, completely nude, running away from the scene. Soon after, another homeowner called Norfolk police to report a naked man had entered her home and was in her basement. The police officers found Wright and took him into custody without incident. While being taken into custody, officers discovered Wright had signs of alcohol consumption, such as odor, slurred speech, and unsteadiness.
Slurred speech, huh?
Just had some underwear on.
And just some
had
underpants.
2 beers.
Yeah, just 2 beers.
Just 2 beers.
Where's Live PD when you need them?
I had to censor that episode.
Ken Weaver, you may go first, or second, sir.
All right,
Second,
boys.
sir, second.
Now, you tell me if we've already done this, okay? Because this here's a local story.
We've already done it. I'm just kidding.
It's kind of local. It's Maryville.
Oh, nice place, Maryville.
Yeah, I like Maryville. So a man in underwear charged with burglary. Kyle Wells, 35 years old, was arrested Saturday, August 16th, after Maryville police officers reported finding him in his underwear at the Maryville Little League baseball field.
Oh, no.
Officers had received a call that an unknown man had been walking around a resident's backyard and making odd statements. According to the report, when officers found Wells, he was struggling to keep his balance, and he would, quote, make statements that a reasonable person would not be able to understand. I love cop speak, man.
I was telling you, the sheriff told me $5. Anyway,
officers said that when asked where he was, Wells responded that he was currently in South Knoxville and that Joe Biden was president. When officers asked where Wells was coming from, he allegedly told them he was with friends at their spot and that they had a variety of drugs.
For those unaware of East Tennessee, South Knoxville and Maryville are not close.
No.
At all.
But relatively, Maryville's south of Knoxville.
That's like me saying I'm in Cookeville.
Well, they're in East Tennessee. That's what we'll say.
Was Joe Biden wasn't president, though, huh?
No. This is just 2 weeks ago.
Wishful thinking, I guess.
So when officers asked Wells if he was doing drugs, he reportedly told them that he had been, quote, clean for 8 years and was not doing drugs. According to the report, when asked where he was for a second time, Wells stated he was in Oak Ridge and that the officers did not have jurisdiction anywhere except their patrol vehicles. Well, that didn't work either. Officers arrested Wells. The report said that officers later discovered that Wells had broken into a garage and tried to steal lawnmowers. The report stated he also broke into a vehicle, but it was unknown if anything was damaged or taken. He was charged with public intoxication and burglary.
But he was clothed, right?
Yeah, he had his underwear on.
Had his underpants on, and I think he's getting, if I'm not mistaken, I was trying to look this up on the map, he went from South Knoxville to Maryville to Oak Ridge in that length of time. So he continues to get further away from the arresting officers in his mind.
And he was acting a lot like Joe Biden.
Hey, whoa, Jack. Whoa, hey, buddy.
Watch what you're saying, Jack.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. I would like to note, by the way, for most of you listening on the radio, you don't know this, but Jackson is solely focused on winning another round of Ninkampoops in the news. So those of you watching on Talk TV, you're not getting the full experience right now. And I would like to just suggest that maybe some of you should judge Jackson accordingly for not doing the proper job on Talk TV. I'm just throwing that out there.
Matt, you pay for the fraction.
I'm Fraction Jackson. I popped over to see some of the reaction to Jackson and Ken Weaver's story in real time on the chat, and I'm just watching a big old box of Matt Murphy reacting to these stories. Made me feel very odd. All right, you know what? I've got a lot of stories to do of a local variety, and I'm going to go ahead and retrofit a story that I was going to talk about anyway into Ninkampoops in the news, because these most certainly are Ninkampoops. And the Ninkampoops in this story would be the portion of the gay community in this listening area that continues to insist on a pride parade. Here's the story. Nashville Pride Wednesday, that was yesterday, announced the nonprofit is facing a $250,000 shortfall after losing nearly half of its sponsors ahead of its June events, and said that it may discontinue its annual festival and parade if additional funding is not secured. Just 2 years after hosting former First Lady Jill Biden in 2023, the Nashville, well, that's probably your problem right there. Nashville Pride would raise the alarm over financial standing in June, when it said many of its, quote, longtime supporters were reducing or terminating their financial commitments. 2 months later, the nonprofit this week revealed that its sponsorships dropped by 40% in 2025, resulting in a total loss of $270,000 in revenue, with some pulling out just 30 days before the festival. According to a Tennessee Star report, many prominent names in the organization's 2024 list of sponsors were absent this year, including the vehicle manufacturer Nissan, Jack Daniels, both of which were subject to investigative work by the fine filmmaker Robbie Starbuck. Corporate sponsors who stuck with the organization in 2025 included Bridgestone, Amazon, Cummins, the Nashville Predators, the Tennessee Titans, Planned Parenthood, Verizon, University of Tennessee at Knoxville, and the Nashville Soccer Club. Now, why do I include this in Ninkampoops in the news? This is the reason. The Pride Parade and the entire idea of gay acceptance was born of the concept that you weren't accepted, that you had to stay in the closet. Here's what I have to say to the gay community. God love you. I love you. You won. Congratulations. Nobody gives a crap that you're gay. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You want, isn't that what you wanted? You wanted nobody to care, and now nobody cares, so you've won. Congratulations. You don't have to have a Pride Festival anymore. It's okay. Let's just call it a day and become just another member of the Nashville community with equal rights. Isn't that what you wanted? Or do you really just want to be treated special with glitter? That's my nincompoop for Ninkampoops in the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can vote for me.
The stark contrast between that rant and this music is pretty good.
I mean,
very serious, very,
throwing glitter everywhere. Maybe more corporate sponsors would want to be a part of your parade if you didn't have so many ding-dongs on the route. By ding-dongs, I mean, ding-a-lings, idiots, nincompoops. That's what we're talking about.
Please just go to break.
Ken just does the news, boys.
I just do the news, boys.
It's 10 till the top of the hour on Super Talk. Yes, I've been told reliably that the temperatures are going to drop over the next several days, and that's wonderful news, but your AC is still going to be running, right? What if it's not running properly? What do you do? Well, I would encourage you to call Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy is the man with the plan. Jeff can come out to your home, examine what's going on with your AC unit, figure out exactly how to fix it, and fix it with efficiency. It's right there in the name, Efficient Heating and Cooling. Efficient HVAC wants to help you find the solution to your problem without breaking the bank. That is why they commit to you that they're going to give you the real scoop on what's going on with your unit and tell you if it's time. And if they tell you that it's time, you know that that's coming from a trustworthy and reliable source. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. So if you have to select a new unit, they can recommend one that's right for you and your family. Plus, they offer financing on said units. Let's go with Efficient Heating and Cooling. No overtime on the weekends, no overtime in the evenings. They just don't do it. They don't believe in it. They want to keep your invoices low. Call 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online, efficienthvac.net.
Reports of mass shooters have turned out to be false today. And here in Nashville, we've had a bomb threat at a school. Mass shooters reported at colleges, a bomb threat called into a Nashville school, and Wilson County teachers facing higher out-of-pocket expenses for insurance coverage. All these stories and more coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So I'm going to give you we talked about this yesterday before it became so fashionable. We are ahead of the curve by like 20 hours in most cases on these stories because, we're on the radio until 7 o'clock on any given evening. But we saw and played for you the clip from Good Morning America yesterday, the change in the logo of Cracker Barrel. I have a hot take for you, and it's not the one that you might expect. Now, Jackson, are you doing some tallying on the super text line over there?
You whooped me. You opened up a can of whoop-ass. Congratulations.
Well, here's the deal, y'all. I'm not trying to – look, I'm getting glitter bombs. Folks are – I'm opening up some glitter bombs over here on the super text line. Thank y'all for the glitter bombs. Look, it's one of those I have many gay friends things, but I do. I sincerely don't care. I believe that there are certain things that we can handle in our own time, human beings, and there are other matters that perhaps of a faith-based perspective that are handled in God's time if you are of that position or predisposition. That said, I love everybody. And I don't understand the changing position of the gay community that insists on the Pride Parade. Like the Pride Parade was started when people were being judged and when people were being unfairly treated based on their sexuality, right? They simply wanted to be accepted as a part of the community. Now, that didn't mean that I had to associate with them or you had to associate with them. They just didn't want to be treated unfairly as a result of who they decided to spend time with, right? I don't care. Genuinely don't care. Just don't force it into my life necessarily or force it into other people's lives necessarily. Well, you won that fight, right? You won. Tell me you haven't won. So what are we doing? Well, what it's become, sadly, and I'll tell you, most of the gay friends that I have agree 100%, it has sadly become an over-sexualization of their lifestyle to the point of perversion. And they hate it too. The vast majority of the gay community hates the fact that the San Francisco-style life has taken over the image of the average gay community. And by the way, a lot of gay conservatives out there and libertarians. It's time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Cracker Barrel talk on the way. Plus, Cheryl and Dan. Y'all hang in there. I'll get to your telephone calls. I see you over there.
Six o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now, authorities in Pennsylvania vowing to track down whomever called in that report of a mass shooting at the campus of Villanova University.
Happy news to say is that this is not an active shooter drill. What happened here today looks like it was a hoax.
Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolzheimer says police responded to a call of an active shooter at the law school, but after a thorough investigation, found no victim, no gunshots, no shooter. Same in Chattanooga today when students and staff at UTC got a warning of a potential active shooting on the campus. They describe a scary scene when police swarmed the campus. To that warning, someone calling 911 to report a person in a black coat in a library. No shooter or victims were found in Chattanooga either.
Our response is going to, especially our initial response, is going to be the same no matter what. It has to. Lives depend on it. We can never assume that something is fake.
All classes and events today were canceled. They'll resume as usual tomorrow. And here in Nashville, Channel 4 says students at University School of Nashville were shaken up after a bomb threat email to to a staff member's computer prompted evacuations right as kids were arriving this morning?
It's hard and it's scary because you don't know the answers, and I don't know what I would do in a real situation. I don't know, like, there's a bomb threat if it's real. What would I do? Like, I'm scared. Whatever happens, I just got to rely on the knowledge of other people.
Now, no threat was found. Classes resumed at 10:30 this morning. A school spokesperson says that threat was sent to schools around the country, and the staff member's computer that it was sent to there at University School of Nashville has been turned over to police for their investigation. Right now in Middle Tennessee, Wilson County teachers facing higher out-of-pocket expenses for insurance coverage. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac previews tonight's school board meeting where 6 new health insurance options will be discussed.
For many teachers, the insurance benefit has been one of the biggest perks of working in Wilson County. Some say it's even the reason they've turned down other higher-paying jobs.
One of my colleagues, she said that she already has so much taken out of her paycheck that every single penny, down to the penny, is budgeted.
The school board meets tonight to go over the budget and then also see which insurance policy will move forward. If approved, those changes could go into effect next school year.
Yeah, the plans the board considering could result in teachers paying between $25 and $100 more per paycheck. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Clarksville, we've got a crash. 24 westbound approaching MLK Parkway. Then over by the airport, police say there's a crash 40 eastbound at Briley Parkway East, exit 215. Cedar Hill in Robertson County, Highway Patrol reporting a crash 24 westbound before Maxey Road. And in Madison, police say there's a crash 65 southbound past Old Hickory Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello. Welcome back. Hour number 4 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. I'm about to go immediately to telephone calls because a couple of folks have been holding way, way too long. I want you to pick up on line 5, Fraction Jackson, and I want you to tell Cheryl that she held for the length of time that she has held because of you. In other words, I want you to lie to Cheryl and tell her that it is your fault that she's held for as long as she's held.
We could just take Cheryl's call now.
Well, I understand that. I want you to tell her, admit to her the truth, and calm her down before I take her call.
You know what? Let's go to line 5. Cheryl, you're on with Matt Murphy, and Matt apologizes for taking so long to get to your phone call.
Cheryl, God bless you for your patience. How are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So when you took my call and put me on hold, you were talking about the unfortunate young victim, the 34-year-old lady who was raped to death in Nashville.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said if somebody needs to talk for her, it'll be me. So I'm calling to tell you it won't be you, it'll be me. And I'm going to also speak for her family because up until about 5 months ago, if I had heard that story, I would have been driving to Nashville to try to identify my daughter. So I'll speak for her. No matter what her life choices were, no matter what issues she had, she was a human that deserved to be treated with dignity. And we as a society should have figured out a way how to keep her from totally destroying her entire world. We keep people from committing suicide by committing them to mental institutions, even if only for a 72-hour hold until they're stable. The people on our streets who are not lazy, shiftless, whatever, the people who are mentally ill and or drug addicted need real solutions. And their families have done all that can be done. I promise you that there's a mother somewhere not knowing where her daughter is. And sometimes she's thinking, such a relief that I haven't heard from her in a while. You know what's going to happen when they identify her? She's going to get to feel guilty about the fact that she felt relief that her drug-addicted daughter hadn't been in touch.
You know, we need to do a better job than we're doing as a society, Cheryl. We just do. And that's not me insisting that there be more government control. I think government, frankly, trying to take over this arena is driving us away from the solution to the problem. I think our communities, our charitable organizations, our church groups, we need to do a better job collectively. And I know that there are some wonderful organizations that do their very best. The National Rescue Mission is one that's near and dear to my heart. I think they do their very, very best with very limited resources. I try to remind myself, I mean, it's easy when you're downtown a lot in Nashville, when you see so many homeless people. You don't know their circumstances. Each of us are absent mental issues, obviously, as you referenced. Each of us are in part responsible for the circumstances that we find ourselves in, but that doesn't make us any less human. And you remind me of that tonight. And this 34-year-old woman that deserved better reminds me of that too. I don't know, and I think it makes it all the more tender that you and I, Cheryl, don't know what led her to that church. I don't know if she was fully responsible. I don't know if she was completely unresponsible for the circumstances that led her to the steps of that church. But I know this. She deserved better than being raped and being killed.
She did, Matt. And the reason I waited is because I needed to say that, and I need your audience to hear that. I am a staunch conservative. When Tim Burchett was on earlier and he mentioned the vote that Marsha Blackburn gave that kept us from a state income tax, my name is Cheryl Duffy, and I'm the person that organized everyone into a formal 501c3 called the Tennessee Tax Revolt. Okay, so I'm not sitting here advocating for more governmental things.
That's right.
I have a track record of not having done that. I worked with Marsha Blackburn on that. Okay, so, but I am telling your listening audience, don't be judgmental about the people that are in your streets. You do not, absolutely do not know whatever has led them to the streets. My daughter was raped violently, repeatedly, and it helped break her mentally. You do not know what has pushed a person to be at that point. And that is what I want to say. I just want your people to understand that, you know, even if they can wrap their head around the fact that she didn't deserve to get raped, many people are still sitting there going, well, but she shouldn't have been out on the streets. No, she shouldn't have been. Maybe we should have done something. The churches, the whoever, right? Maybe as a society, like you said, we should have figured out a better way. That's all.
Cheryl, do you...
Thank you for...
Well, sir, 100%. I appreciate your call, and I appreciate the spirit of the call. And curiosity compels me to ask, but fear makes me hesitate. But I'm going to do it anyway. Do you have your daughter? Is she still with you?
My daughter is still with us. My daughter has been clean for 4 months now.
That's great.
And
That's great.
She's 35. So 4 months ago, she would have been 34. That's why I said this hits me. This hits me. This could have been my daughter. This could have been her.
Cheryl, please keep listening to us. We'll continue talking about this subject. And I don't want I want to be there when, I mean, I don't know what this woman's circumstances are, but I want to make sure that she gets the attention that she deserves in the spirit of the conversation that we're having right now. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. 100%. I don't know what else to say about it. That's just an incredibly powerful call. And I get overly sensitive because, folks, I'm a hard ass, right? When it comes to government. Because I don't think government does anything well. With the possible exception of, killing people and breaking things. And hell, we don't even do that cost effectively. That's just an endless money pit. So I'm a hard ass when it comes to our government, but I am an absolute softy when it comes to the idea of value. And the plight of people who feel like they have no value. Nothing will kill someone quicker than believing that they are worthless. And nothing will bring someone back from the brink of that than convincing them that they're not. Reed is next. Hey, Reed, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, man?
I'm well, thank you.
This is, you and I have actually chatted on Messenger a few times in the past, and this is a topic very close to me. My mother died in 2001 after having gone homeless, and I don't mean, let me put it like this. Her homelessness was all the horrors that you'd expect. I mean, I growing up with her, we hitchhiked from Florida to California, from California back to Florida, and then back again to California. I had been present with her as a small child when she had been raped in a motel room a couple of times. as a result of some bad choices she made as an aging hippie, and having to be the one following her along on that. I later went into the military, and then when I left and went into the military, that was in large part the beginning of her full-time homeless journey. People go onto the street for a number of reasons. I will say that women, not surprisingly, that are homeless, almost 100% of them are sexually assaulted in some way. They're used, and it's just a harrowing journey. It is a disproportionately awful experience. I was able to get my mother off of the streets in the very end and get her into an apartment in Stockton, California, voted most miserable city in America twice in a row by Forbes magazine. And I don't say that to be funny. I say it because it was an awful, awful city. And it was a fitting end to an awful, harrowing life. So in regards to elevating the level of consciousness about to the folks who say, well, they shouldn't have been out on the street in the first place. Nobody wakes up and decides one day that they want to go onto the street. They just end up there. It wasn't how I wanted to be raised. It wasn't how the experience I wanted to have. It certainly wasn't the experience of this young woman who left under such awful, awful circumstances left this earth. But it is a reality in which we now find ourselves, and it's not a political reality. It is somewhere between a victim of circumstance and personal choice and fate and all these other amalgams that come together. It is just a journey that, praise the Lord, not many people have, but everybody is capable of experiencing, and is just one step away from a bad decision that can put them right on the street. So, having been on both sides of the political divide, I can say that this is a human issue. This is not a political issue, and it's not a issue or a choice that anybody makes or decides to walk into it and say, I want to have this lifestyle. It is a mental health issue, and women are the ones who pay the hardest and most sincere price of that experience.
It's well spoken, Reed, and I agree with much of what you say. I'll say this, and thank you for your call, and thank you for being willing to express your experience with your mother. I know that can't be easy, but I would say that you're right that it's a human issue, but far too often we as human beings, not you, not me, not the majority of this listening audience, but it's easy to turn toward government and to say, hey, government, deal with this. Government can't deal with this. Human beings have to deal with this. We have to deal with this. And perhaps we can create dynamics within government that assist us in that regard, but we have to decide exterior to that. And look, we're never going to, there will always be poor people. There will always be homeless people. There's no question about it. I'm not a Pollyanna. I don't think that, I don't live in that world where everything's sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. But I just want us to remind ourselves of our common humanity when there are examples that are right in front of our faces, and remind ourselves that the people that use these issues like a bludgeon are more often than not those same people that claim that they are champions of the issue. And that's the side of this that pisses me off. I'll say it again. The same people that create the dynamics that make these issues worse stand in front of you and will look at you with a straight face and lie to you and tell you that they are the ones that want to solve it. And everything they do makes it worse. Everything they do. And that ticks me off. And those are the same people that are running away from this nameless, faceless, homeless 34-year-old woman who is dead as a result of their failed policies. Their failures. It is not lost on me what today is, too, by the way. And I intended to bring it up at the top of the hour, but I wanted to get to Cheryl real quick. And I'll get to Dan and Max. I bet many of you longtime listeners know what August 21st means. I don't pretend that I ever had the relationship that you did with him. But if you want to call and tell us about that, I would appreciate it for the rest of the show. It's one of those, if you know, you know. And if you don't, I'll tell you in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is simply the best in the business when it comes to dealing with men's health, more specifically with men's sexual health. Now, guys, I understand that's a personal issue, and I get it. It's a sensitive issue to many of you. But here's the deal. I know fellas, too, and I know fellas want to try to ignore these issues. I call it whistling past the graveyard, pretending like it's not happening to you. To many guys, they let these things go and let them go and let them go, and then you live a life of misery. Gentlemen, don't do it. If you have felt the sting of performance issues like other men, ask yourself, when was the last time you felt confident in your intimate and romantic relationships? You don't have to settle, men. Your initial appointment is only $99, and it includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and, if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office, same day. That's what we're talking about. Fellas, let's make this happen. Let's get back in the game with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. 2 locations to serve you. Well, now 3, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it. The original in Midtown, the Cool Springs location, and a brand new Middle Tennessee location in Clarksville. So you fellas up to the north of us, you've got a location near you too. Book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, or call for any of these locations, 615-208-9090, 208-9090. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is Matt Murphy and the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Super Talk 99.7. 28 minutes after the hour. I promised I'd get to Dan. He wants to talk about urban crime. And then Nate has a call about this day, August 21st. Specifically, August 21st of 2021. 4 years ago today. A day that's a very, very sad one for most of the longtime listeners. Well, I would dare say all of the longtime listeners of Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But we'll get to Dan first, who's held for a long time. Hey, Dan.
Hey, it's Dave. But that's all right.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Dave. We got, we got the first. We don't call him Fraction Jackson for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He got the first two letters right, and then he kind of gave up.
Yeah, I'll answer almost anything. But I tell you what, I don't have a whole lot to add after those past couple of callers because I don't have a personal experience like they do with the issue of homelessness and people in that state of life. But I got to tell you, what happened to that woman at a church has really hit me hard. And I don't know that I've been more angry at a situation that I've heard about like that. Now, whatever the reason for her being where she was, she's a child of God, just like me and you. The fact that she was at a church, I wonder, was she there, looking for protection, salvation? Who knows? Whatever the case may be, she was robbed of any opportunity to have a future by that animal who, and I believe I heard this right, the police had already had contact with him several times.
Oh, yeah, not several, a lot. 29 separate charges.
29 times. Now, here's what my anger kind of goes, you said, well, government can't solve everything. Well, you know what the government can do? It can enforce the dang laws. It can do that, and it should do that. Question I have, and if in metro areas, whether it's Nashville or Memphis, evidently we've got local leaders, I don't want to say law enforcement. I know some law enforcement guys. I don't think it's on them. Maybe it's the district attorney, who are not enforcing the law. My question is, where in the hell is the governor and the attorney general on this? I haven't heard a peep. Not even going back to when old Mayor Freddie was trying to dox ICE agents, or did dox ICE agents. We ain't heard a peep. The only thing he's doing is showing up for ribbon cuttings. Where in the hell is the leadership? That's my question. And the question is, what can they do? Well, you know what he could do as a governor? He could order or direct the state police to start patrolling in high crime areas and urban areas.
Yep.
He can do that.
He certainly could.
Those calls that come in, they can respond to calls just like the Metro Police. Oh, and then the question is, well, okay, then you got a DA who, Funk or whatever his name is, won't charge them. Well, a couple years ago, legislature also passed laws that allow the Attorney General to intervene on prosecutorial decisions. They have tools they can use. They're not using a damn one of them.
We are going to, Dan, in the spirit of your call, or Dave, pardon me, in the spirit of your call, we are going to stay on this story, and we're going to challenge those. I mean, I don't pretend that they're enemies. I mean, these are our friends, but we need to challenge our friends to step up to the plate and go the extra mile and do more where others won't. And if the Metro Nashville Police Department's hands are tied because of politics, then the Tennessee Highway Patrol needs to do everything in their power to step up at the direction of those individuals you just mentioned. And we are going to stay on this story. And this woman, and I think it's particularly poignant, Dave, that she is nameless and she is faceless and she was homeless. Because she becomes a symbol of the plight of the forgotten people in this community that are suffering as a result of the ridiculous lack of leadership.
Yep. And only thing I encourage people to remember, and a preacher told me this years ago.
Yes, sir.
You never lock eyes with anybody who's not a child of God.
That's right. That's right. And
it don't matter what the circumstances were.
Well, and in a lot of times, and Dave, thank you for the call. I'm so late. I'm sorry to cut you short, but a lot of times they are a byproduct of their own circumstances. Sometimes they're not. Doesn't matter, like Dave said. In the end of it all, it doesn't matter. All right, 33 after the hour. I'm so sorry I'm late to Ken. We got a special guest coming up in the hotline in just a couple of minutes on Super Talk, and Marcia with her big balls coming up later to lighten the mood before we leave. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about your home. Do you have a home generator in your home? Is it a Premier home generator? If the answer is yes and yes, then good for you. Congratulations. You need not listen for the next 45 seconds or so. But if your answer is no to either of those questions, friends, you need to be protected with a home generator from Premier Generators. It's as simple as this. We are threatened in Middle Tennessee with all kind of weather. You know, whether it's some remnants of a hurricane coming through the Gulf and popping us here in Nashville and Middle Tennessee, or perhaps it's an ice storm in the wintertime months, or maybe it's one of those pop-up thunderstorms that knock the power off, and there you go for the next hour or so. What do? I mean, your health, your safety, it is compromised when there's no lights on. With Premier Generac generators, you don't have to worry about any of these things because, friends, you are protected. Find out a quote for a home generator system with Premier Generac generators today. They are more affordable than you think. And right now, if you call, a 10-year warranty is on the line. 10-year warranty to call today. 855 Power is on. 855 PWR-ISON. 855-797-4766 or premiergenerators.com. You know, I'd like to say I don't know a lot about diamonds, but the fact of the matter is I know Genesis diamonds, and that means that I have diamond expertise at my fingertips, ladies and gentlemen. And you do too, whether you know it or not. 2 locations in our area to serve you. One is in Green Hills and the other in Cool Springs. These are your local diamond experts. They go to the diamond mines themselves, right? They go to the ends of the earth to find the best diamonds for you. They cut out the middleman, meaning that they can bring savings to you. It's a pretty nifty way of doing this because you don't compromise on quality, and they can sell those incredible, beautiful diamond rings for less, or diamond pendants, or diamond bracelets, or diamond earrings, or whatever sparkly she wants on her finger, on her neck, on her wrist, whatever it might be. Friends, the experts at Genesis Diamonds want to talk to you. They never try to pressure you. They are not commissioned salespeople. They are simply there to find the right thing for you and your family. Genesis Diamonds, no compromises. Green Hills and Cool Springs. Go by and see them today and tell them Matt Murphy sent you. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy Show in progress. Thank you for being here. Thank you. We appreciate you. Obviously, it's been a busy day. We've had a lot of things going on. We started it off with Donald Trump speaking before law enforcement in Washington, D.C., had an update on the illegal alien Somalian guy. Texas redistricting going on, California's reaction to all of that. Yesterday was National Radio Day, and I missed it. It was National Radio Day, and I missed it. I feel like every day is National Radio Day. Today, a little bit of a Saturday amongst the Super Talk 99.7 WTN family. I don't pretend to understand the pain that some of you continue to go through over the loss of Phil Valentine. It was August 21st of 2021 that Nashville, Tennessee, and America and the world, and primarily Susan and the family, lost the great Uncle Phil Valentine. One of the people affected so much by this joins us on the hotline, and I am just so proud to hear his voice. His name is Johnny B, and he's on the phone with us. Yeah, I love hearing you, Johnny B. What's going on, brother?
I love hearing you, dude. You put me in a good mood every time.
Oh, man. I couldn't help but play some fun music. I know we're going to talk about sad things, but, man, oh, man. I behind the scenes, Johnny B and I have been texting. We've been talking. I know you got big things coming around the corner with a podcast that's coming up, but I've been meaning to tell you how much we love and appreciate you and how much the audience loves and appreciates you, and I thought it was a good opportunity to hear from you, man.
Well, I appreciate that. And, man, I love you, and I love Ken Weaver. I love everybody up there at the WTN, and I especially love the audience. You talk about a great radio audience. In all my years of radio, I never had an audience like that. It just felt like friends and family, and, you know, they are a loyal bunch, and we are all very lucky to have an audience like that. And Phil Valentine knew that, too.
Well, not a lot of people closer in professional life to Phil than you. And I know this is it's a hard day. I can't imagine it, to lose someone that you worked so closely with in the fashion that you did. But just for those that miss him today, just talk about your friend and your colleague for a moment and what he meant to you and what he meant to the community.
Well, I tell you what, you couldn't meet a better individual than Phil Valentine. When I first met him, I didn't know I would want to work with him. Actually, he could be quite intimidating at times because he was so good at what he did. But he became like a brother to me. I've never had a brother, but he was beyond being a friend. I mean, you could tell that he loved you if he did, and he would help you in many ways. And he did so much for Tennessee. I mean, that's why we don't have a state income tax. And he loved people. It didn't matter what side of the aisle you were on. If you treated him with respect and you treated him with kindness, he gave it right back to you tenfold. And in fact, there's somebody that works at the radio station that is on the other side of the aisle. I think he still works there with you guys. Not on TN, but one of the other sister stations.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me many times how Phil helped him with writing a script. He was writing a script for a screenplay, and Phil helped him with that. And would always walk in and talk to him about, North Carolina basketball, which is big with anybody that, is a fan of Tar Heels.
Right.
And, he was just, I don't know, I've never met anybody quite like him. It was fun to work with him. He and we got to where we knew what the other was thinking, and it was, I'll never have a magic like that again. I did get to kind of enjoy that with Ken Weaver and Dan Mandis in the morning. We kind of had the same type of, of relationship, but Phil and I, that is a magical time that I'll never forget. And I'll tell you what, when I dream at night, he is always in my dreams. I mean, I dream about the guy often.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're doing the radio show all over again. And when I wake up, I have to take a little while to kind of remind myself that, it wasn't real, because it feels so real. And that's in a way a gift, but it also, especially when this day rolls around, to be quite honest, I kind of dread this day because it just reminds me of the heartache we all felt. I still remember Ken Weaver when we were discussing his passing on the air that day. How Ken Weaver broke down, it really got to me.
Yeah.
And he was he was a big friend of ours, and he was really captain of the ship. And I wish you could have had more time with him and got to be around him, because I think he would have really liked hanging out with you.
I believe that too. I had an opportunity just to meet him twice, both at company type, corporate type events, both in Washington D.C. as a matter of fact, and just such a gracious guy to be. He was the figure that when he walked in the room, everybody, oh, there's Phil Valentine. You know what I mean? It's like you knew when there's Phil Valentine's here. Who gets to talk to Phil Valentine? He was just so personable, and you could walk up to him and one of those guys where you would talk to him for a little bit and you say, man, I'd love to be able to sit in his chair one of these days. And
oh, you're not kidding. And he was so good to people. The cleaning crew that came through WTN one year at Christmas, he gave them all a bonus.
Wow.
I mean, that's the kind of guy he was, He just loved people, and he, I don't know, he took good care of people. And, if he believed in you, he would really get behind you and really try to help you. In fact, he, toward the end of his life, he was really wanting me to get into podcasting. He really talked to me about it. And he said, I'm going to start a podcast network. And he said, I want you to be on a podcast. He said, I want to help Pamela Furr. He said, I want to help so many people. And my son, of course. And I would urge everyone to really think about Susan, his wife, and the boys today, because I know they've gone through a very hard time, as we all have, but more so with them, because he was just ripped out of their lives. I mean, that was heartbreaking.
No question. No question.
And I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I want people, when they remember Phil Valentine, don't remember how he died. Remember how the man lived, because you talk about somebody that embraced life. I mean, I don't care where he was. He brought the room up. He was always up. In fact, I was so thankful that he and his wife, Susan, came down to our wedding with Glenn and myself in Alabama. He just brought that whole place up. He just always did that wherever he went. And he just had a goodness about him that I can't even describe. I mean, it really got, you talk about people that have, the sense of God around them. He really did.
Yeah.
And he really changed my life just working with him. And I'm very thankful for my time with him.
Well, I'm thankful you said what you said about, remembering how he lived and not the end of his life. I mean, there's so many people on the super text line. I can't tell you. I mean, they're talking about dancing in the booth, talking about Snowflake, talking about, just so many of these different things that you guys did together. People are in real time as you're talking, Johnny B. They're remembering all of those great moments and memories and times that you guys spent together on the air and off the air. And that's what it's all about, right? Remembering the life lived. I mean, the old saying that it's the dash that matters. And it's true. I mean, it's 100% true.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And like I said, this guy really knew how to live life. I mean, he'd go to Europe, he would always tell me, Johnny, you need to go to Europe. You need to take a trip. And I said, I'm not making that Phil Valentine money, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, Phil, is that an offer? You're taking us to Europe. Thanks, Phil. Well, listen, before we go, on a happier note, brother, I'm excited. I know, and I've been trying to promote it too on my socials, that you've got, speaking of a podcast, you got a little something coming a little bit later on. You want to talk about that?
Oh, I'd love to. We're starting a podcast. It should be kicking off in September, the first week in September. It's called Circling the Drain. It's got me. It's got somebody that you all know, Mr. Jay. He's going to be with us.
Jay Harper, that's right.
Jay Harper is with us, and Jim McCarthy, who has put the whole thing together. And, man, we just have fun talking about music, talking about the entertainment world, and we'll have some great guests. In fact, one of our very first guests are going to be songwriter Gary Gentry, who's a real good friend of mine, and he's written The Ride by David Allan Coe and 1959 by John Anderson. He works a lot with Billy Sherrill, just a great country guy. We're going to have some big guests, too, later on. You don't want to miss it. And I do believe Trace Atkins will join us.
Oh, of course, Trace Atkins will join.
A lot of fun. Yeah, I guarantee you, I can document this.
Tell Trace that I said that you're a leader of men. All right.
Well, I think he says that about you. He's a big fan of your show, dude.
That's cool.
He tells me he listens to you.
I love the name of this podcast, Circling the Drain. I love it. I love it.
Well, I got that from Vanderbilt nurses. I heard them talking one time. And they kept saying, oh, they're circling the drain. I said, what does that mean? They said, oh, they're getting ready to check out.
Oh, no.
And I was trying to think of a name for this thing, and Glenna was watching this show. I think it was called The Resident. And, of course, I was having to watch it with her.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I heard one of the nurses on there say, oh, they're circling the drain. I went, that's
Bingo.
The name.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Well, listen.
And we got to have you on.
Well, I mean, I would be honored to be anywhere near the room while y'all are doing that, and we need to get you on more often. But Johnny B, in the 30 seconds I got left, I got to tell you this, brother. The reaction, people want me to tell you universally, and I can't name the numbers of people, hundreds and hundreds of people on the Super Text line, how much they love you, how much they appreciate you, how much they miss you, and how much they miss Uncle Phil. But, I mean, you particularly, we love you and we miss you, and we're going to have you on more often, man. We need to do that.
Well, God bless you. I'll come anytime you guys want me.
Y'all
And
have
tell everybody up there I love them.
Yeah, we will. And hug Glenna for us, and we'll see you. And tell her I'm done with her pickles, and I'm going to bring her big jar back, okay?
We'll get you some more, man. I promise.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Love you, brother.
All right, love you too. Thank you, Johnny B. I mean, there's Johnny B. I mean, I could think of no better way of honoring the late Uncle Phil Valentine on the anniversary of his passing than talking to Johnny B. We'll wrap things up in just a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, I know a thing or two about stinky things. Believe it or not. I know a thing or two about them. And I know that the last thing you want to smell when you walk into an auto repair shop is stink. Stink like, grease. Stink like old rags lying around. A countertop that you wouldn't want to touch. Another thing that stinks, an auto repair shop that doesn't do what they say they're going to do. They're not honest. They don't call you back when they say they're going to call you back. What was your last experience at a vehicle repair shop? It's Matt Murphy to talk to you about the stink of European auto repair and how to take the stink out of European auto repair with Eurofix. Eurofix, you get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection with an estimate at every visit. Never any high-pressure sales tactics. At Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty. At Eurofix, you get a rental car with every appointment. At Eurofix, you never pay dealer prices. Eurofix in Franklin, 100 Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belle Meade, and Mount Juliet. Eurofix, 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX or call. That's the number to call. Or go online at myeurofix.com. Myeurofix.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Eurofix. I am back for mere seconds, long enough to tell you that tomorrow is a First Amendment Freestyle Friday on the Matt Murphy Show on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Thanks to Congressman Tim Burchett spending some moments with us. Thank you to the great Johnny B for spending a couple of minutes with us as well. And thanks to each and every one of you for spending time with us. You're the most important component of all of this, and we appreciate you so much. Back tomorrow at 3 o'clock for a First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Until then, so long, everybody.